escaped him with just 3 laps to go. Series defending champ David Green needs to beef up on victories. Wins have been slim pickings, as they say in the South. His only win at his home track in Nashville earlier this season. Crashes have flattened his championship defense. It's time to strap in and hang on. The guys here push and shove more than the folks at a 50% off sale for steaks. The NASCAR Busch Series best are looking to bag a big win tonight.
Will that be paper or plastic?
ESPN Speed World welcomes you to Indianapolis Raceway Park as we get set for tonight's NASCAR Kroger 200. We're in the middle of a rain delay right now. The rain is falling, but it is lightning, and the trucks are out on the track. Drying operations continue. It's very pleasant. 78 degrees as we get set for tonight's action. Hello, everyone. I'm John Kernan, standing by with the series points leader, Chad Little. And Chad, last time we saw you, had an apron on. Where's that?
Well, I was bagging some groceries. You never know what you need to do when racing career's over, so I wanted to give my shot at bagging groceries.
Well, that's very good, because right now you have a very tenuous 14-point lead in the championship hunt. In fact, you just take over the lead with the win last week at South Boston over Johnny Benson. As I said, a slim 14-point margin. Right now, still a lot of races to go.
A lot of races to go, and I hope we get this one in right now. You said it's raining lightly. I see some bigger drops than lightly, John, but you got to be optimistic. We get geared up for a race, and then it rains. They get geared up, and then it rains. So you look at all these fans that came out here tonight to support this, and when it's raining like this, I mean, we're going to do everything we can. You know NASCAR is to get this race in tonight, and hopefully we can, and we'll just do the best we can as a team to maintain that point lead.
Now, you've got the most wins this season. It's been a dream season for you right now, but it's kind of been a nightmare since you came here to IRP. You're starting way back 34th. What's the deal there?
We just had some problems. You know how racing can be sometimes. We unloaded the car, and it was very fast. Had some of the quicker times the first practice session. I went out and getting ready to make a qualifying run, and drove down into turn 1, and I lost it and hit the wall pretty hard, and we spent the rest of the day repairing the car and didn't get a very good lap in. But we think we've got it repaired now. We checked as many things out as we could, and they all look to be pretty good. Replaced a lot of suspension pieces, so hopefully we'll be all right.
Well, remember at Daytona to open the season, he started 42nd and came away with the victory. Maybe it'll be another come-from-behind win for Chad Little tonight. Now, the pole sitter is Elton Sawyer, and he is standing by with Bill Weber.
That's right, John. He doesn't have to come from behind. Elton Sawyer starts on the pole after a great qualifying run. Congratulations.
Well, thanks, Bill. You know, my hat's off to Bob Sutton, Danny Marshburn, and all the guys on the Ford Credit Thunderbird. They did a great job. You know, when I made the trip back from the Brickyard, I forgot the straightaway is a little bit shorter over here. I run off into turn 1 about 10 car lengths too deep, hit the wall, bent a couple ball joints, messed up the right side of the car, but they jumped in there and fixed it, and we went out there and put the thing on the pole.
That's not a very exclusive club. A lot of guys hit the wall here yesterday.
They sure did. You know, the fast way around this racetrack is right up against the wall, and it was awful slick, and if you just make one mistake, the front slides or the back gets away from you, the only thing that's going to catch you is the fence. So hopefully we'll get this rain stopped, and you know, we'll have a good show tonight.
12th in points, a car that has been in victory lane. This one took you to victory lane at Myrtle Beach. Obviously, with a little luck, you could get there again tonight or just about any week in recent races.
Well, we sure have. My hat's off to Bob and Brad and what they've done with this program. You know, Andy Rounds and Jeff Collins have come on board the in-house engine program. We're only 80 points out of 8th in the point standing. That's awful impressive. We like to get in the top 5, maybe a couple wins before the season's over, but I can't think of a better place than IRP to get that second win.
I know this Ford in the Busch Series is your #1 priority, but tomorrow you start in the Brickyard 400. I know you have to be thrilled about that.
Well, when you talk about it, it gives me goosebumps. It's kind of a bookend situation. We're on the pole here, and we're starting in the back tomorrow, but, you know, Mike Hill and all the Hooters guys have done a great job. That's a tough racetrack. My hat's off to Jeff Gordon and the whole DuPont crew for what they did. We're going to try to get 160 laps in tomorrow, do the best we can do, and hopefully be good enough for a top 10 run.
Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Bill.
Elton Sawyer also got a little help from NASCAR because of the long delay at the Brickyard. He was able to talk to Mike Elton over there. They made a call to this track. Elton was not able to reach this track in time for the drivers' meeting, but in a rare circumstance, they waived that mandatory rule, which says you must come to the drivers' meeting or you start at the back of the field. Elton couldn't make make it, he still, because of NASCAR's considerations, because of the weather and the time constraints, will start on the pole. This has been a long day for everybody, for drivers, race fans, even for the media, but we're going to stay here a long time tonight and get this party in, we hope. And we have two great hosts for this party, and they're dry upstairs, at least kind of. Upstairs to Dr. Jerry Punch and Ned Jarrett.
Thank you, gentlemen. John Kernan down trackside and Bill Weber. We're up here. And Ned, you know, it's been raining off and on today in Indianapolis, but that hasn't slowed down a lot of these fans who keep streaming in to a sold-out Indianapolis Raceway Park. What a crowd today at the Brickyard for practice. They finally got to see a 35-minute practice session late in the afternoon. And on our way out here from the Brickyard, they were lined up as far as you can see to get in this place. They know what kind of action they're going to see, and hopefully you're going to see a little later on tonight as the rains are beginning to stop a little bit, and we're going to get this track dry.
Well, these fans are certainly dedicated, no question about that, Jerry. And one of the reasons they're dedicated is because of the action they see when they come to Indianapolis Raceway Park, and of course at the Brickyard as well. Wind picking up here a little bit right now. Maybe it'll blow the clouds out of here, and we'll get rid of this rain and get the racing going here before long.
Well, we certainly hope so. Take a look. They're still drying the racetrack here. We'll take a look at the point standings. We talked to you a moment ago that Chad Little had won 6 times, and boy, the points are tight. 14 points separating Little from runner-up Johnny Benson. Now, Mike McLaughlin and Larry Pearson back in 3rd and 4th. They are separated by just 11 points, and back 5th and 6th. Jeff Green is in 5th spot. Jason Keller back behind him, I should say. He is just 1 point back with Fida Wadaughter and Rodney Combs, along with Phil Parsons in the top 10. We told you that we've talked to Chad Little, who's won 6 times already this year. And how about the guy who follows him closely in points? Last year's Rookie of the Year, Johnny Benson. He is standing by with our John Kernan.
And, Jerry, everybody remembers Johnny Benson last year on his way to, the first Busch Series win, and in 3 laps from the end, boom.
Yeah, it sure was. That was a heartbreaker for us. And, you know, yeah, it would have been our first win, but every race that I've been to since that point in time, somebody has mention that. Man, we felt bad for you there. And so I think it's done me a lot of good rather than, but I'd rather have taken a win.
I'll tell you what, that'll be the last time I'll ever ask you about that, okay? The deal?
No, that's fine. I mean, like I say, it's something everybody remembered, you know, and it's just one of them deals. But we've been having a good year so far this year and looking forward to the race.
A little bit of bad luck in the last few weeks has enabled Chad to overtake you, lead you now by 14 points. But he's starting way back there tonight. You're starting right there on the front row, 2nd starting spot. Good feel for this place?
Oh, it sure is. We had a great race last night. Had a lot of fun, and I really like this track. It's, it's got some long corners. Looks like a short track, but it's faster to corners. You know, the groove's high up by the wall. Heck, that's where I like it up there, so we're looking forward to it.
Now, you mentioned the truck race. They look quite different from your cars here. Does that help you driving that, or do they drive about the same here?
Well, they're pretty close. You know, the truck does have some little different things going on, but it's not too bad. It still tells you what the track's doing, you know, the groove's high or low or things of this nature. So, you know, it's real competitive there, and, you know, the Busch deal's real competitive. I'll have fun.
Well, Johnny Benson Jr. will start 2nd tonight. Obviously, although we are not going to remind him of it anymore, Jerry, he would like to win tonight to make up for what happened last year.
And, John, what a show that young man put on here a year ago as a rookie. Led until 3 laps ago when he cut a tire and lost it here in the final 3 laps. We're under a rain delay at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Back with more from Claremont, Indiana after this.
The other guys are worried about grid positions. The other guys are worried about track conditions. We just hope the engraver spells our names right. The GSXR 750W and new lighter 1100W.
We think the new Chevy S-Series ZR2 extended cab is kind of like a good friend. Okay, so it's more like a push to the front of the line, stay out of my way, give me all your lunch money because I'm bigger than you and I always will be, and don't you forget it kind of friend. The new ZR2 extended cab. So, who are we having for lunch?
The decisive electronics that control this airbag are still alert and waiting for what might be around the next corner. Airbag control, another little black box from Delco Electronics.
Now, there's a brand new motor oil made to handle the stresses on your hard-working engine. 4x4 from Quaker State. Off-road driving. Extreme temperatures. Especially towing and hauling. They all make your light truck or 4x4 work extra hard and could shorten its life. Why settle for a conventional car oil? Get a synthetic blend that can take the punishment. 4x4. It's new from Quaker State. The intelligent oil for hard-working engines.
Our speed mode coverage of the NASCAR Kroger 200 is brought to you by Suzuki. Your Suzuki motorcycle and ATV dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. By Chevrolet. One car company has won more races in the history of NASCAR, genuine Chevrolet. And by Delco Electronics, official sponsor of the Brickyard 400. Back at Indianapolis Raceway Park in Claremont, Indiana, we are under a rain delay, but folks, those lights you see on the racetrack, those are the trucks that are trying to get this racetrack dry. We hope to be able to get this NASCAR Kroger 200 underway on ESPN Live tonight. 200 laps, 137.2 miles net. A great event for Busch Series, and there have been some incredible races here over the years. In fact, this race won by 11 different drivers.
There has been a lot of good racing here, and usually when you go to the short tracks in NASCAR Busch Grand National Racing, you see a lot of close racing. You see a little bit of beating and banging, too. This is not one of the easiest tracks on the circuit to pass on. But if you have a car that's really working well and can set someone up, you can get up beside of them and hope that you can beat them into the next turn. But you really have to work for everything you get on this racetrack, but it does provide a lot of action for the fans.
We talked about the fact that they first began racing here back in 1982, the very first year of the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series drivers, and there are 11 different people who have won it here. Take a look. Mike Wallace won it a year ago. Tracy Leslie, Nemechek, Bobby Labonte. Hey, pretty good names there. Steve Grissom.
Some great names in the sport of auto racing. Michael Walter, Morgan Shepherd. He's won several times here. Larry Pearson, Butch Miller, and Jimmy Hensley.
Sort of looks like that if you come to IRP and win this race, you are destined to become a star or a superstar in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. Talk about making it to the big ranks in Winston Cup. The guy who won that race a year ago will race here tonight, but also has done extremely well in Winston Cup ranks. He's standing by with Bill Weber.
And that man is Mike Wallace, the defending champ. Congratulations on that one, and congratulations on making the Brickyard. Let's focus on this first. Obviously, you're here to try and defend.
Oh, definitely am. We qualified 13th yesterday and had about an hour of practice in the car. That was all, but we definitely came back to win the race. And they told me there's a little bit more money at stake if we can repeat, like $10,000 bonus. So I kind of like that money at the same time. And but last year we came here, had to start in the back and come to the front basically twice to win the thing. So starting 13th this year, hopefully it'd be a little quicker to get there this time.
Well, you might have to be there by lap 101. We were just talking about that tonight. There were some fireworks here at the end of last year's race. There could be some here early tonight.
Well, I think what you're going to see is everybody trying to lead by lap 100. Of course, we've got a lot of rain in the area. We're fighting rain right now to get started. And I know I'm going to be trying to lead at lap 100. And if it goes to 100, it can be a race, or 101, it can be a race. And, if I was leading at 101, it wouldn't bother me at all if they canceled it at that point.
You got to be mentally tough to focus on this when you know tomorrow you're on the starting grid at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Pretty phenomenal, isn't it? I came here last year and I missed the Brickyard, and I was just like totally bummed out when I got here, and turned around and had an emotional high to turn that around and win this race. And we sat there on pins and needles all day today. Car, got rained out finally. We took a provisional starting spot, which was fine with us. And, we're just thrilled to death. We got the Heilig-Myers Ford Thunderbird in tomorrow. Got the Duran Paints car here tonight, and Klausner Furniture Industries that helps us out. And the week can't be any better at this moment. But in about 200 laps from tonight, if we can win here tonight and have a great finish tomorrow, it'll really be a good weekend. And, the only thing to make it better right now, for Carla and the kids who are up here with us, they're at home getting her mom and dad moved in. They're moving down to North Carolina, so we're having a good time there.
Well, Mike Wallace had a good time here last year. He finished in Victory Lane, which is where he hopes to tonight when we get this race in, gentlemen.
And what a show that was a year ago. Mike Wallace, as he told you, did not qualify at the Brickyard. And you got to be down if you're a driver. You go to the inaugural Brickyard 400 with all those hopes, and you don't qualify, then you know you got to go across town and drive 200 laps.
Well, it certainly was no disgrace that it didn't make the field last year. They had about 84 cars entered in the first Brickyard 400. But yeah, with all the hype there had been, it was an emotional drain for him and anyone else who didn't make the field. But as he said, he came out here and put together a victory and did it in a very fine fashion too, coming from the back at least twice. And so that has a tendency to build that confidence back with the driver and pump him back up and say, hey, I can do it. We'll just go on from here.
You know, we talked about it a little bit earlier in Speed Week. We were on with Dave Despain before our show tonight on the Speed Week show and talked about that finish a year ago. You know, Mike Wallace dominated most of the race, but Johnny Benson dogged him lap after lap and passed him and took the lead. But then Benson cuts a tire with 3 laps to go, slams the wall at a turn 1. Caution comes out. They bring the race back under green for 1 lap, a scramble, and Mike Wallace leads a host of others across the line. That is the typical finish you see, and that's why those folks there come to IRP. Not only for Busch night, they come for USAC racing. They come for all kinds of motorsports. It's standing room only here, folks, and it is a tremendous facility to watch racing of any kind. You know, over the years, we've had some great ones here. I remember one race where Dale Earnhardt and Brett Bodine and Tommy Houston had a whale of a shunt down in turn 1 a few years back. The finishes here have been nothing short of incredible.
Every time we come here, it's something different or someone different running up front, and just a lot of close racing. And there's a driver down in the pits right now that has done some of that close racing on other types of racetracks.
Indeed he has. We talked about some of the young talent that's moved on from the series. Nemechek, Grissom, Mike Wallace, you saw Ward Burton. Well, this guy may be one of the next to make the move to Winston Cup. Let's go to the pits.
Well, Jerry, of course, you're talking about Dennis Setzer. And Dennis, we were used to seeing him after he started his rookie year and won a race in the Alliance Tractor Trailer training car. But that team has gone away, and found yourself a man without basically a full-time ride. But last night had to be kind of exciting, that truck race for you.
It really was. You know, the Dodge Super Truck just done a great job last night. The Fred Graves crew chief team, they do a good job every week.
Now, what about the deal this weekend? You're in that 42 car.
Yeah, I'm staying pretty close by that thing. I'm hoping this rain holds off here, and I want to get pretty close. I want to be one of the first drivers in the car. Anxious to go.
Now, you're starting 17th. This is a team that Kyle Petty has run in. It's owned by Felix, right?
It's owned by Fred Turner out of Burlington, North Carolina. They've got the Band-Aid sponsorship, shower to shower on the side, and you know, we really appreciate their involvement in this sport. You know, it's seemed like good involvement for Johnson & Johnson.
But what about for you? What is this going to do for you? I mean, is this going to go for the rest of the year, or is it just a race-by-race deal?
Right now, we have 3 races planned out after this race. We'll do Charlotte, Richmond, and Homestead together with this team. They have another race planned also, but I'd already made a commitment in the truck race that weekend.
So what does the future hold for you? Do you have anything on the line for next year? Is it all just taking care of business right now?
Well, there's a lot of things happening for next year. You know, I have to make a decision here pretty soon whether to follow the Busch circuit or the Super Truck circuit. I have a lot of good opportunities maybe going both ways for next year. So I've been very lucky to get in some good vehicles both ways. So, you know, a lot of promising things happening.
All right, well, good luck tonight. That's Dennis Setzer. He will start 17th, Jerry.
You talk about versatility. That's a young man that began the year driving a Ford. He drove a Chevrolet last week at South Boston, Virginia. He drives a Dodge on the Super Truck Series, and believe it or not, he's driving a Pontiac here tonight. 4 different makes, and watch and listen for that young name. Dennis Setzer, Johnny Benson, Chad Little, some of the stars that are coming out of this series in a hurry and are going to make a name in Winston Cup. Well, we're trying to dry the track here, and hopefully we'll be able to get this track dry and get some live action. Now, that's a good thing about being with ESPN. You get 2 networks. You get ESPN Classic, and you get ESPN2. And if we can't get the race on tonight for some reason, but we're going to try, you'll be able to see it tomorrow on ESPN2. And if we can't get it tomorrow, how about Sunday on ESPN2? We may be here. This may be a long time on the roof, Ned, but we'll be here for quite a while. Well, anyway, while we're trying to dry this racetrack, we're going to show you some excitement with Bob Jenkins. Let's go back and show you some real thrills and spills from a previous show. All short track excitement coming up next. Meanwhile, we'll stand by here at Claremont. And we're back at Claremont, Indiana, Indianapolis Raceway Park. We that wasn't much of a thrill, but it was certainly a spill, at least for a tape machine. But we're going to have that thrills and spills a little later on for you. Bob Jenkins, what a great show that is, showing you some of the exciting tumbles and thrills people have taken over the years in motorsports competition. Now, the track drawing is going along pretty well, but the one thing that's not going in our favor, Ned, is the fact that the rain forecast is for rain all around this area, and this is a pretty flat racetrack. This looks like Indianapolis, banked about 10 or 11 degrees. Indianapolis banked 9 in the corners, and it doesn't dry that quickly.
Well, it doesn't dry quickly, and especially when the air is so damp. Of course, the sun has gone down. It's dark here. Normally in the daytime, it would dry a lot quicker, but they do have one of the jet blowers out here, and that has a tendency to dry very quickly because it blows a lot of air and a lot of hot air out there, so that is helpful. Plus they have the safety vehicles out there as well running around, so they're doing everything they possibly can to try to get this racetrack dry.
We talked about some of the rising talents in this series. How about a young man who came out of the ARTCO and ASA ranks and got his first Busch Series victory this year at Nazareth? Talking about Timmy Fedewa. He's standing by with John Kernan.
And Jerry, right now, Tim stands 7th in the points, starts 8th for the race today. You got that first win out of the way. You got that monkey off your back, so you guys got to be really pumped.
Yeah, we are. You know, the team's been working hard, and, you know, it's one of these racetracks we come to kind of. I'm from Michigan. It's kind of our home turf, and a lot of the guys' families are here, my family's here, and we're pumped up about Indy. You know, it's a great race place, and, you know, we're really looking forward to it.
Now, you are one of these guys, the typical guy, hard worker who is working his way up through the ranks of all different series of racing. Are you at the point now where you want to be here in Busch as far as your step toward Winston Cup?
Well, I think so. You know, I want to win a race this year, most definitely, and now we're looking at winning another one. And if we can keep doing that, winning some races, you know, and I'm still young enough, I think, that, you know, my goal is definitely to get into Winston Cup like every other driver, I think, that isn't there already. But we're trying real hard and trying to do the right stuff, so hopefully we'll get there. And like I said, I'd just like to win some races this year and go from there.
Well, what's the deal? You said you wanted to win one race this year, and you've already done that, but you know you want more?
Well, we wanted to win a race last year, too, and didn't do it. But, you know, that was our goal at the beginning of the year. As long as we could win some races, we let the points lay where they did. And I think as long as we build our cars to win races and the crew gears up for that, we'll end up in a good spot. So.
Now, how many more Winston Cup races are you going to run this year?
I don't know if we'll run any. You know, we really wanted to concentrate. We had an opportunity to do so, but, you know, we really wanted to concentrate on our Busch effort, and I think it's paid off. You know, I think that contributed to our win. And, you know, maybe at the end of the year when our Busch season's mellowing down a little bit, I'd like to run Atlanta in a Cup car. We run real good there in our car and our Busch car, so it's a logical place to go.
All right, best of luck to you with that, and also best of luck with you tonight. Now, the 87 winner is standing by with Bill Weber.
And that man is Larry Pearson, and Larry's trying to win a race outside the state of South Carolina, but he's 4th in points and already has 2 wins, so you're off to a great start.
Oh, yeah, the team's running real well this year. We feel like we've got a shot to win every race we've been in this year. So we've came a long way. I don't know about tonight. If the weather holds out, I think we might have a shot, but I crashed the car twice yesterday, and I don't think it can take much more beating before the thing falls apart, but the guys have did a real good job putting it back together for us.
Now, you've been a part of some fireworks here in the past, Larry, and that 1987 win was really something.
Oh, yeah. Best I can remember, Elton Sawyer and myself, he was leading the race on the white flag lap. We went into turn 3 up there, and a slower car had slid up the racetrack in front of him. I was on the inside, he was on the outside, and he slid up in front of him, and I was able to get underneath him and beat him.
A lot of fireworks, as we mentioned here. We were talking to some of the other drivers. Is this a race to lap 101 tonight?
Well, that's the way it seems. I mean, I think we have an hour window, hour and a half window, or something like that. But we're going to try to run very carefully. You know, we don't want any cautions. We want to get it in. Probably lap 101 is what we'll be shooting for.
Been a 2-horse breakaway in the points race, but there are a lot of thoroughbreds right behind. You're one of them. Can you guys rope in Benson and Chad?
I think so. We got a strong horse. We got a good team, like I said. They've got to have some bad luck, which I think Johnny had a little bit of bad luck last week, and Chad had some bad luck yesterday like I did. But, yeah, we're not counting this out. I think we can catch him.
Larry Pearson, a strong driver with a strong team behind him, hoping he gets this one in tonight. Let's go back up to Ned and Jerry.
And that's the mount that Larry Pearson will drive later tonight, the car number 92, the Mac Martin on Stanley Tools machine. And Larry Pearson, a two-time winner this year, did. I can't help but remember Pearson's win at Darlington on ESPN. He was so emotional, but not nearly as emotional as his dad, David, who was so excited and so overcome with emotion, he didn't want to see the last lap. He drove the car in the tunnel and sat there in tears and listened on the radio.
And that was Larry's first super speedway win. Very, very special to the Pearson family. He had won 2 championships and numerous races on short tracks, but the first time a super speedway win, and for it to be at Darlington, South Carolina, where his dad, David Pearson, had so much success. Yeah, I can see where he'd get very emotional over that deal.
Tremendously emotional. Of course, he won at Darlington and then backed it up with a second win this year at Myrtle Beach. And we welcome you back to Indianapolis Raceway Park, getting set for the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Kroger 200. And boy, the rains have moved away, the track is drying, and we are getting set for racing action. They have uncovered the race cars, called the drivers to their machines, and hopefully we'll be racing momentarily. Glad to have you with us, John Kernan, Bill Weber, Ned Jarrett, and yours truly, Jerry Punch, getting set to bring you NASCAR racing action, short track style. And what a starting field we've got here, Ned.
Super field here this evening, Jerry. We're starting on the pole is Elton Sawyer, speed of 109.570, and right on the outside is Johnny Benson, 109.381.
Row 2 has Jason Keller. Beside him, the reigning series champion, David Green. That's the Slim Jim Chevrolet.
Go to row 3, we have Bobby Dotter, good qualifying run here. He always runs good on this racetrack. And Doug Cameron with a super run here starting on the outside.
Back in row 4 in 7th spot, the 93 Rookie of the Year, Hermie Sadler. And beside him, the young man who won at Nazareth this year, Tim Fedewa, coming on strong here late in the year.
And in row 5, we see Johnny Rumley and Tommy Houston. Tommy is a good qualifying run, one of his better qualifying efforts this year.
Car number 71 starting back in row 6, Kevin LePage. Beside him is Curtis Markham, the pole sitter from a week ago at South Boston, Virginia. He's a rookie.
And in row 7, we have Mike Wallace, last year's winner, and Bill Parsons.
The 87 winner at IRP and a two-time series champion, Larry Pearson, sits on the inside of row 8. And a former NASCAR modified series champion, the 1992 series champion, Jeff Fuller, flanks him.
And in row 9, we have Dennis Setzer. We talked to him a little bit earlier on the program. And Buckshot Jones in the 00 car.
Chris Diamond, a late model stock car ace from Hickory, North Carolina, runs the Western North Carolina tracks, getting into the Busch Series. He starts inside row 10. And Mike Magic Shoes McLaughlin, a former series modified champion, a guy who's won here twice in modified cars, he will start 20th.
And in row 11, we see Jeff Green in the Dale Earnhardt machine, the Goodwrench car, and Rodney Combs, who had a good run here last night in the trucks.
Good to see Joe Bessie back at the inside of row 12. Now, he hasn't run that much in Busch Series competition, hasn't had a sponsor. He's back with his own car with the Delco Remy America sponsorship inside row 12. And beside him, a former winner here, Tracy Leslie, former ARCA Series champion.
Making up row 13 is Ward Burton, who will be running tomorrow in the Brickyard 400 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Alongside of him is Randy LaJoy driving the Duralube car number 64.
Back in row 14, there's the car of Randy Porter, car number 18. He starts in 27th spot. And the third Green brother, he's the middle brother, Mark Green, in the car number 41. He will start in 28th position.
First time in Busch Grand National history there have been 3 brothers in a race. In row 15, we have Stevie Reeves, who is back after an injury at Talladega. Good to see him back. And alongside him is Jerry Snowdu.
Back in row 16, there is the 1988 Series champion, Tommy Ellis, 105.923 miles per hour. Tommy Ellis starts inside row 16, and beside him, the car number 88, that is Marty Ward in the Hooters-sponsored machine.
And in row 17, Mark Madison, a newcomer to Busch Grand National. Don't know if he has any starts, Jerry, or not, but he's starting here tonight. And Chad Little, the series points leader, starting way back in 34th position.
Mark Madison, a sprint car driver out of Texas, has run some sportsman competition. And there is Patty Moise talking about our provisional starter. She is the wife of our pole sitter, Elton Sawyer. And beside her is Kevin Ray, the LA West-sponsored Chevrolet. He is a provisional starter, the son of John Ray. Great crowd on hand. The rains have moved away. The track is drying, and we are set for racing action, IRP style. So stay with us. NASCAR Kroger 200 coming your way when we come back.
The electronic control for ABS waits all its working life for moments like this. Anti-lock brake control, another little black box from Delco Electronics.
The electric start Suzuki Dual Sport 650, 350, 250, and 125. No other line has a wider range.
Too hot in your car? Don't sweat it. Now at Pep Boys, get a cool deal on our air conditioning quick check for just $19.99. Our AC quick check only $19.99. Come to Pep Boys now. Now at Pep Boys, get any 4 of our 35,000-mile all-season steel-belted tires at an incredible low $109. That's right, any 75 or 80 series, any 4, just $109 at Pep Boys now.
Back at Indianapolis Raceway Park, getting set for the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Kroger 200. This is race number 18 on the 26-race, $7.5 million Busch Series Tour that began way back in 1982. The 404th event held in Busch Series competition, Ed.
And Elton Sawyer up front there. We see his car. He's ready to pull out. And the red carpet leads forward. And certainly would like to pull off another win. And this is the type of racetrack that he runs well on.
Taking a look at Dennis Setzer in the Band-Aid Pontiac, the car he will be driving tonight, car number 42, owned by Fred Turner. Clyde Mendenhall, the crew chief on that car. Cars lined up on the front straightaway. I like the way they do that here at IRP. All the fans are able to get out here, and there are some great seats in the grandstands, but I think some of the better seats here are these fans bring the family, bring the kids, and put a big blanket out on that hill over here in turn 1 and enjoy a great view overlooking the racetrack. And, of course, the cars lined up right in front of you. We're talking about some of the young talent. How about the guy who qualified third, the Budget Gourmet Chevrolet driver, Jason Keller? He's standing by with John Kernan.
Jerry, standing down here at trackside, it looks like the track is coming in. It's in really good shape. And Jason Keller, as I guess you got a nice shot of me looking in from the onboard. Hi, everybody. Jason carrying the in-car camera tonight, starting third. Looks like we're finally going to get this race started.
I tell you, NASCAR's really done a great job, and all the guys here at IRP has too, to get this thing tried off. And my guys on this Budget Gourmet car crew have really done a great job too. So maybe we can get this thing dried out, and maybe good things come to those who wait. You know, we've been waiting a long time to get us a win, so maybe the night's tonight.
How tough is it going to be to pass? We saw last night in the truck race, you saw Mike Skinner take off. He led every lap.
Well, I just hope nobody passes me, and I think we'll be okay, you know, but it's going to be tough. It always is here, but we're looking for a good show, and we'll just do the best we can, and maybe we'll at least get 100 laps in. I hope we'll get 200 in.
Now, I wouldn't say that this might be the toughest, but to pass, it's one of the toughest that you guys race on. You really have to work on it physically, mentally. It's a big combination to set someone up to get around him here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We've compensated a little bit on gear, and hopefully we can get up under them and get off the corners. And we studied that truck race a little bit last night, so maybe we did our homework, and hopefully we've made the right decisions today, and hopefully we can have a good night.
Well, Jason Keller starts third tonight, and just like all of us standing down here on pit road and everybody up in the stands, we can't wait to get this race underway.
Jason Keller, his second full season at NASCAR Busch Series competition. In fact, his first full year with the full sponsorship. Still looking for that first win. He had a runner-up finish at Myrtle Beach earlier this year to Larry Pearson. And what a great run he had that night. One of the up-and-coming young drivers. Great qualifying effort for Keller. This is his kind of racetrack. He likes the long half-mile or 5/8 mile facilities that are flat. Reminds him a little bit of Greenville-Pickens Speedway.
Where he started his career, I assume. At least he grew up in that part of the country. And, yes, I was thinking about that when John was interviewing him, this is the type of track that he grew up around. Tough racetrack to pass on, but when you get your early experience on that type of racetrack, sometimes when you come to one like this, then it's not quite as hard, at least.
And, you know, some of the Winston Cup car owners that are looking for drivers to maybe get in their car. Where do they take them to give them a road test or give them an audition? They take them to Greenville Pickens Speedway. Why is that? I mean, is it that tough of a racetrack to drive, or are flat racetracks really a show-off for a young talent?
Normally, if a driver can run good on a track like that, it's relatively flat, and if you can keep your cool, get the most out of a car on that type of a racetrack, they figure you can go most anywhere and run well. You know, the high banks are somewhat easier to drive than a flatter type racetrack. You just drive the car down in the corner on a high bank racetrack as hard as you can, and most of the time it'll stick and go around. But on a track like this or Greenville Pickens, it takes a lot of finesse to drive, and so that's one of the reasons they would take them to a place like that.
Well, I'd like to tell you you're going to see some finesse tonight here, but usually that's not the case. Patience is not a virtue here at IRP. It's very difficult to pass. You sort of have to go around them, and most of the time you end up going over them at this place because it is an extremely tight groove.
Well, every driver, if you went up and down through there, they'd tell you, yeah, we've got to be patient on this racetrack, and we're going to take it easy, you know, and try to be there at the end. But something happens. When you throw that green flag, you buckle that seatbelt up first, put that helmet on, you throw that green flag, and you get out there and you start racing with someone and say, man, if I can get in front of him, I can go on. And so you do sometimes things that you shouldn't do. You lose that patience, and sometimes they get in trouble as a result of it.
Cars are lined up, getting set. The track is essentially dry. Now, you see some of that moisture in front of the cars. That's on the inside. That's actually out of the racing groove. And the areas of concern you saw just a moment ago, entering pit road on this flat facility, there has been some standing water where those trucks now are coming down out of turn 4. There's an entrance onto pit road, actually in turn 3. You enter pit road here from this racetrack over in turn 3 and come around. The cars are lined up on the outside of the pit wall down the front straightaway. We're getting set for NASCAR Busch Series action, and there's the entrance to pit road over in turn 3. They come down that back straightaway. 0.686 mile facility, a little over 5/8 of a mile. Paved facility. The banking is 12 degrees, about 3 degrees more banking than the Brickyard or the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which is not saying a lot because it isn't much banking at all. It doesn't give you much of a break going in the corner.
No, it really doesn't. And in fact, there's where that finesse comes in. You got to have a car that's working properly, and then a driver that can use that car to the best advantage, the horsepower they have and everything else.
And, of course, speaking of the Brickyard 400, our pre-race show coming your way at 12 Eastern time. That's tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern time, live pre-race show, 1 hour, and what a show that's going to be, as we'll talk to some of the competitors as they get ready to run the second annual Brickyard 400 from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. As we come back, we're getting set for NASCAR Busch Grand National Series action, and that's the veteran of the series, 50-year-old Tommy Houston. Stay with us.
Showtime right here! Football fans, get ready for the all-new 1995 NFL Team Kickoff Kit, free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Just tell us your favorite team.
Chargers! Cowboys! 49ers, maybe.
And we'll give you an exclusive team video and a fantastic new Sports Illustrated sweatshirt. Your Team Kickoff Kit starts with your official 1995 team video. Find out if your team will thrive in 95.
And we got plenty more where that came from.
You'll also get an incredible SI logo sweatshirt, yours free through this exclusive TV offer.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Hey, this is great. I'll put it on right now.
Call now. Use your credit card and you'll get 54 issues of Sports Illustrated for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. And your incredible Team Kickoff Kit is free. Nobody gives you more of your team than Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
That brings up Big Mo Vaughn.
86 season, Bruce.
I heard that. 86. And I'm sick of it, okay? You make one tiny mistake, and they never let you forget it. They just keep laughing and laughing at you. I got news for all of you, all right? We're going to be the ones laughing this year. We're going to be laughing at you, and you can wipe that 86 smile right off your face! Get out of my way!
Red Sox fan.
Buckner will be avenged! Buckner will be avenged!
Back at Indianapolis Raceway Park, what a festival of speed we have had here this week with the Silver Crown cars and the midgets on Wednesday night, the Super Trucks the night ago, and now it is time for NASCAR Busch Series racing action. 200 laps here on the 5/8 mile Indianapolis Raceway Park. The drivers are in their cars awaiting the command. They still are circulating the trucks on the track. The track almost dry. We are set for 137.2 miles. That's exactly 200 laps here of racing action, Ned.
And every driver is anxious to get this thing going, and those fans are as well. I'll tell you, they are real troopers to come out here as early as they did this afternoon. It's pouring down rain about the time they would start filing in to this racetrack, but yet they came and have been very loyal here waiting for this race to start.
And Ned, wouldn't that make you a little nervous if there was a butcher up in the flag stand there, the guy with the Kroger uniform on? Obviously, Kroger, the sponsor. That is Alex, the Kroger meat man. And he is a butcher up there. I think I'd be a little concerned, but I don't see any knives in his hands. I think he's just going to wave a flag.
All right. Well, I'm sure that's going to be a thrill for him as well. You know, we talked about those fans a moment ago, Jerry. One thing they do here at Indianapolis Raceway Park is they have an autograph session. About an hour and a half before the race, every driver comes over to the wall here, and fans put their things through the fence, and they sign autographs for about 30 to 45 minutes, and the drivers usually enjoy it, and certainly the fans do.
They certainly do. In fact, they really appreciate the Busch Series drivers who come here, the Winston Cup drivers who have come out here. They are coming from the Brickyard. They come over here and still come over and sign autographs. You're right. Look, that's Chad Little there. We're going to be riding along inside with the CarQuest Bayer in-car camera. Talking about Bayer, he needed a little bit of that product, as you heard earlier, after tagging the wall yesterday morning. And that's the Budget Gourmet roof cab. Jason Keller, car number 57, our third fastest qualifier. We'll be riding along with him in his Chevrolet tonight. And, of course, the Band-Aid, Johnson & Johnson efforts, the Pontiac, Fred Turner on machine of Dennis Setzer. And that's the car number 42 right there. Setzer getting in that car for the first time this year. We understand he may drive that car some the remainder of the year.
Scheduled to drive it at least 2 more races. I think they have 4 more races to run this car during the rest of the year. And Dennis will drive it 2 of those. And Derek Cope will drive it the other one, I understand.
There's the Lipton T Monte Carlo. That's a beautiful paint job on Johnny Benson's car, the reigning Rookie of the Year, and the fellow who nearly won this race a year ago, Elton Sawyer there, picking up the pole as you sit there watching the man who has been on the money this year. 6 wins for Chad Little in Busch Series competition. Let's go to the pits.
Yeah, but Jerry, if Chad's going to pick up win number 7, he's got to come a long way, all the way back in the back. This is the man in charge of keeping that car running, Gary Cogswell, as crew chief. And Gary, he hit the wall, what, a couple of times yesterday? How badly is that car hurting?
Well, the damage is really cosmetic. We went over the car really carefully this morning to make sure the chassis and all the suspension components were still in alignment. The car doesn't look real nice, but I expect it to race very well. We're starting quite near the back. We've started back here before and had good finishes in the past. I'd really like to bag number 7 tonight. I don't know if we can come from that far and do it or not. Our main focus tonight and for the rest of the season is to keep picking away at the points.
Okay, let's go back upstairs to Jerry Punch.
And as we're getting set here for NASCAR Kroger 200 action, so due to time constraints, we're going to head back to ESPN in Bristol, Connecticut. We're going to show you as much of the race as we can a little later on. And we are told you this race will air at 12:30 Eastern time as the fireworks go off and we get set for action. But due to time constraints, we're going to have to head back to ESPN in Bristol, Connecticut. And apparently they were going to take it back, and now they saw the fireworks and got excited too. So fireworks have gone off and the crews are moving away, so we will stay. How's that? How's that for changing your mind?
The engines have been fired, and I'm glad that we're able to pick up on that. And we appreciate the consideration that was given for such a great decision to come back here and see this action. Because we know that's what those fans are in there.
I knew if I talked long enough, they'd change their mind. They said we're taking it back, and I just kept talking. So anyway, we're going to have Busch Series racing action here tonight from Indianapolis Raceway Park. It has rained all afternoon. They are checking the jacks. They're checking the air guns. And a scientific way to see if the jack's going to work, you just put the heaviest guy you got in the crew on that, and there are some guys in there that jack probably won't lift. And oh, by the way, Benny Parsons not with us tonight. We might mention that. Benny, of course, working the Brickyard tomorrow during our ESPN pregame show, and of course the live coverage on ABC Sports tomorrow at 1:15 Eastern, 1 o'clock Eastern time. And there is Joe Bessie sitting in the car. We're talking about the pole-sitting car. Well, the car owners are Bob Sutton and Brad Akins, and Bob Sutton is standing by in the pits.
And his car is on the pole. Bob, your driver will be looking at the track as this race gets ready to take the green flag. What's he going to look for, and will NASCAR talk to him as we get set to go?
Boy, Elton's done a great job in his Ford Credit T-Bird. He's done good. He's going to just make sure that outside groove's okay, so if anybody tries him on the inside, he'll be all right.
How about the conditions? We'll be watching those.
Yeah, you know, it's going to be close here for a while. You know, everybody, if they'll just stay calm for 100 laps, we'll get this race in. The weather's terrible here, but I want to thank Craftsman for being on board with us, and Ford Credit's done a great job for us. I appreciate it.
They're starting on the pole, so we'll be right behind the pace cars. These cars try and help dry the track. A couple of things to watch for. The spotters, most of them on this track are down in turn 1. They can see most of the track, but have a little trouble seeing an area down in turn 3. Another problem that has developed here, Tim Fedewa cannot talk to his crew. They were working on getting him a new helmet so they could hook up the radio so he'd have communications with his pits.
And boy, those communications are so important, Bill. You got to have two-way communication. You know, back when I drove race cars, we didn't have the luxury of two-way radios. We communicated by blackboard, but that's the way that we did it then. But now that they have become so accustomed to two-way radios, they just simply can't do without them. But Tim Fedewa rolls off, and at least he'll be able to hear them.
And a roar from this capacity crowd at Indianapolis Raceway Park. The field is rolling. We are getting set for green flag racing action. 200 laps coming your way. You know, all the NASCAR hierarchy here. Mike Elton, the vice president of competition for NASCAR next door in the booth. You got to give them a call for the efforts they put in to try to get this track dry tonight. Ray Hill, of course, and all the Busch Grand National Series inspectors working so hard along with the folks at IRP to dry this track in record time and to get these cars uncovered and rolling so we can have live racing action on ESPN tonight. It is stop number 18 of 26 on the $7.5 million NASCAR Busch Series Tour as we get set for green flag racing action.
And Jerry, with 36 cars going out on the racetrack right now, they can do a lot towards getting this track dry very quickly. And they don't have to be running at full speed to do it, because there's a lot of air that comes off the cars, and certainly as those engines begin to heat up a little bit, it'll be hot air coming off of there, and more vehicles than we've had out there trying to drive the racetrack, so it'll dry even quicker with them out there.
And what a welcome from the Midwestern stock car fans. They all stand and wave their hats as this field passes in review, and you talk to some of the drivers, that has got to be an awesome sight when they come off the turn at about 35 miles an hour, which will be the pace speed tonight, and see those fans standing on their feet, waving their towels and their hats to these Busch Series competitors. You got to wonder now, if the track has been wet, somewhat damp all day, if it'll make some of these guys be a little more cautious at the beginning. Will we see a cleaner start, or just more of a, are we more in jeopardy to have an incident early on?
Jerry, I believe that most of them will be very conscious of what is going on in the conditions that they're going to be starting this race under, and I think they will be more careful. I think they've told themselves, and I think they've told each other, and I'm sure in the drivers' meeting that they talked about that, and so I think for at least a while, they'll, try to be considerate of their fellow man and try to get this race underway and try to get it finished here tonight. But as we said a little bit earlier, once they get into actual competition, sometimes they forget about that patience.
And the cars getting side by side. It is Ford and Chevrolet on the front row. Elton Sawyer, the pole, his second in Busch Series competition. The other coming back in March of '91 at Martinsville Speedway. Johnny Benson, runner-up in the point standings right now. Outside in a Chevrolet. Keller and Green, a pair of Chevrolets in row 2. Then comes another pair of Chevrolet Monte Carlos. Bobby Dotter and Doug Hebron driving for Mike McLaughlin back in row 3. Hermie Sadler, former Rookie of the Year, and Tim Fedewa back there in the 55. That's Fedewa, the winner up at Nazareth. Car number 25, Johnny Rumley, former Winston Racing Series regional champion, now getting in the Busch competition. Had a great win a year or so ago at Hickory Speedway, driving for Don Beverly, the Mick Johnson, car number 25. And how about 50-year-old Tommy Houston? Boy, Tommy has come on strong. He's letting Andy and Marty, his two sons that are running short track racing along with son Scott, set the car up for Tommy. Said, I asked him, I said, what's the difference? Why is the car running so well? He said, I'm not messing with it anymore. But the kids do it. They know what they're doing. I just get in it and drive it and don't say a word. So Tommy looking for a big win tonight, or possibly a good run.
Well, his sons are getting some great experience around Hickory, North Carolina, Tri-County Speedway at Hudson, North Carolina. And I'm sure that, you know, the technology changes in the sport. And even though you still got 4 wheels on the car and you got 4 springs under it, 4 shock absorbers, things are continuously changing, and those fellows are staying right on top of everything that's going on, and they can transfer that over to Tommy's Busch car, and I'm sure is a big help to him. Jerry, we see them, the cars, you know, they're trying to work out a groove here just a little bit. And we'll talk about the groove on this racetrack. Unlike most short tracks, most of the time on a short track, the groove is right down on the bottom of the racetrack. That's not the case here at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. The master groove is up high, so you wonder if maybe Johnny Benson might have the better starting position here up on the outside, because if he can go into turn one, even with Elton Sawyer, if they're nose to nose when they go into that first turn, he has a good chance of coming out with the lead.
And as we ride along with Jason Keller on our Budget Gourmet roof cam with that Chevrolet, we'll tell you we've got some special Quaker State track packs coming your way as we get set for green flag racing action. How do you keep some of these car cools? So we'll take a look. Let's go down to Bill Weber and take a look at a Quaker State track pack involving the Stanley Tool Chevrolet of Larry Pearson. Here's Bill.
I spent nearly 15 years living in Indiana. Let me tell you, that's a lot of stormy and sticky summer nights. At home, you stay cool outside in the pool or inside in the air conditioning. But that's not how they do it on Jeff Fuller's Sunoco Chevrolet. They keep this car cool with nearly 40 feet of ducting. There's about 30 feet of this 4-inch ducting. That blows cool air on the oil and on the brakes and also on the driver, on his body and on his feet to keep him cool. Then there's about 8 feet of this 2-inch ducting in here. It's connected to this ice box, which blows cool air into Jeff's helmet. Now that cool air goes in through here and then comes out just below the face shield. That gives Jeff a cool head throughout the race, and he's had a cool head all season. This rookie driver leads the Busch Series in fewest unfinished laps. For a first-year team, that's pretty impressive. They've completed every lap except 172 this season.
Boy, the technology they have today, Ned, it's incredible. I mean, you didn't have air conditioners back when you were racing, did they?
No, they really didn't. And talk about running that many, completing that many laps. There have been a total of 3,630 laps run, so to have not completed only 172 is pretty remarkable.
Taking a look at the car, there is Johnny Benson's Lipton T Chevrolet. Almost won the truck race here a night ago. Talented young driver, former ASA Series, reigning ASA Series champion. He won the championship, I guess 2 years ago, he won the Series championship in 93. So now a reigning Busch Series Rookie of the Year. And beside him, Elton Sawyer. Boy, Elton has, a lot of people raise their eyebrows about Elton getting in a Winston Cup car, but boy, he has done a pretty good job in the Hooters ride with Mike Hill for preparing the machine.
He has, and they're very pleased with Elton's driving there, Mike Hill and all the crew. Here's Stevie Reeves and Jerry Nadeau. Hey, I said it wrong when I went over the grid. Sorry about that, Jerry, and all of your family members. I don't know what made that come out that way. But I apologize. I'm trying to do it right.
And Jerry Nadeau starting in car number 15 back in 30th spot. The bus fuses forward as you ride along in the Budget Gourmet machine with our third place qualifier, Jason Keller, in the car number 57. Weaving back and forth. You see the track is dried and sprayed up there, trying to get some heat in the tires. And there is the car number 6 of Tommy Houston. He is scheduled to start in 10th position. Well, let's go to the pits and Bill Weber.
Well, Jerry, I had a chance to talk to Tommy during the rain delay. He finished second here last year, had a spectacular run, and I kind of smiled. I said, can you pull another one like that off again tonight? And he smiled right back. He goes, I think so. So he's really confident about his car, his equipment, and his chances tonight. A couple of observations. The track is drying from down here, as you can see from up top. The big problem right now is pit road. Very, very wet. They've asked the drivers to pick up the speed of 50 miles an hour on the track, and they may be bringing them down pit road to try and make 1 or 2 passes down here to dry the pit road as well. And we talked briefly about Jeff Fuller, who's completed all but 172 laps. Johnny Benson is second. He's completed all the laps except 173.
And there's David Green, the defending champion of the NASCAR Busch Series. And boy, what a tough year he has had. He's been in the wrong place at the right time, and had an incident in Charlotte where he fractured his right shoulder blade, and that certainly put him behind somewhat. He is languishing back in about 16th spot in the point standings, but a very talented driver, driving for car owner Bobby Labonte, who I'm sure is probably back in his hotel tonight watching this race and hoping to be able to get some rest for what he should have would be a great effort tomorrow in the Joe Gibbs car in the Brickyard 400.
Bobby Labonte will be starting in 5th place tomorrow in the Brickyard 400.
And as they're getting pit road dry, we are told we're going to be racing momentarily, so we'll take a quick break so we can come back with green flag action for the NASCAR Kroger 200 from Indianapolis Raceway Park.
When traffic congestion changes, the threats to your car's engine change. That's why Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that senses the changing threats in your engine and adapts its own molecular structure for continuous protection. So whenever the driving conditions change, so does Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Now get up to $6.60 back by mail when you buy a case of Quaker State, or up to $2.75 back by mail when you buy 5 quarts.
At AutoZone, most of our customers are the kind of people who like to work on their cars themselves. That way they save money and they know the work's done right. Of course, when they come to AutoZone, they know they're going to find the right part for the right price. But sometimes what they're looking for is just a little advice. And that's okay, because we don't put a price tag on it. You see, at AutoZone, we take pride in taking care of our customers. And we've learned that when you treat folks right, they keep coming back.
When traffic congestion changes, the threats to your car's engine change. That's why Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that senses the changing threats in your engine and adapts its own molecular structure for continuous protection. So whenever the driving conditions change, so does Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Now get up to $6.60 back by mail when you buy a case of Quaker State, or up to $2.75 back by mail when you buy 5 quarts.
NFL Prime Monday, 7:30, ESPN.
And believe it or not, folks, they are getting the signal for green flag next time by Carl Simmons. High atop the flag stand as 36 cars, 36 of the finest Busch Series competitors, getting set for racing action.
Hey, there's Tommy Ellis. Boy, we haven't seen him race in quite a while. It's good to see him back.
Outstanding to see Tommy back. What a short track competitor. He thrilled many of us for many, many years. And, of course, a former series national champion. Glad to have you with us. Bill Weber, John Kernan, Ned Jarrett, and yours truly, Jerry Podge, bringing you live Busch Series action from Indianapolis Raceway Park. After a lengthy rain delay, we are set for live racing action right here on ESPN. Glad to have you with us as they come out of turn 4, and the fans are on their feet.
Right with Sawyer as they went into turn 1, but he couldn't quite hold on out there. And Sawyer did take the lead. And again, they didn't want to do anything foolish.
They are single file as you're riding along with Jason Keller back in 3rd spot. That's Johnny Benson right in front of him, and he is a car length back of Elton Sawyer.
One driver sort of caught down on the inside, and a lot of cars going by him on the outside. There are the leaders. There you can see Hermie down on the inside, and a lot of cars going by just simply can't find a place to get up in the groove. There's your place, Hermie. You better jump in there. He did, right in front of Curtis Martin.
He started in 7th spot, was caught out on the inside, and lost about 6 or 7 more positions as we have a challenge up front. And Benson will to the inside of Sawyer out of turn 4, but Sawyer slammed the door, and now Benson back another call. He tries it on the inside in turn 2.
And that's a tough place to pass, but that's a place that you can make a pass if you get set up just right. But apparently he was not just right because Elton Sawyer came over that turn like a bullet.
We told you Johnny Vincent was a factor a year ago. He led the most laps here at the Kroger 200, 87 of 200 laps, yet only to come up 3 laps short with a cut tire. Trying to make up for it here in the early laps tonight. We thought they'd be a little bit conservative early on, but Dad, not much conservatism so far.
They're running hard, no doubt about it. The track apparently is to their liking, and they're just simply going at it as we ride with Jason Keller. He's not too far behind those front runners, only about 2 car lengths, really. It's not as far as it looks right there on your picture. There you can see how far he is behind.
Sawyer, your leader. Vincent in second place. 3 car lengths back to Keller in third. At his single file, David Green rides fourth. As you watch the front 2 cars, there is Doug Hebrod, the Mike Laughlin car being shown in 5th position. Let's check on Chad Little. He nearly involved in a shot back there for the car number 18 of Randy Porter, the uniforms car. Now there is Porter, who did a whale of a job to save the car, and Chad Little, there is Chad Little's car number 23. Let's ride along. Remember, he is the points leader. He started back in 34th spot after damaging the car prior to qualifying. He now begins to move in and try to take another spot away as he has now moved up his car into about the 28th position.
Jerry, as those cars got strung out in single file and a little bit of distance between a couple of them, he's about a half a lap behind as we see Vincent now trying to make a move again on Elton Sawyer. But Chad Little knows that he's got to go because those leaders are running so hard up front. He can go a lap down pretty early, and he's going to do everything he can to get by as many cars as possible.
And Tim Pita is off the pace. The car number 55 slows drastically in turn 3.
Had a problem over in turn 3.
That is Mike McLaughlin's car number 34 has spun. Larry Pearson involved with 0-0 is Buckshot Jones. There is Curtis Markham's car sliding to a stop in front of him. Another rookie competitor in the Lysol Pontiac. And there is Buckshot Jones, Roy Buckshot Jones, the Longhorn Steakhouse machine. Just getting a start in Busch Series competition after running in the All-Pro Series for a while. Of course, Larry Pearson getting the Stanley Tools car refired.
And these cars have gone a lap down. The leaders have come by since they were sitting there on the track.
Let's see if we can see exactly what may have happened up there in 3, Ned.
Okay, we see Buckshot Jones, the car on the left of your screen, and Jeff Green comes up. It looked like Buckshot got a little bit loose. Green came up and tapped him, and around he went up next to the wall. Green goes on, but apparently some other cars back behind got to bumping into each other.
It looks like Buckshot may have been slowing down because the Larry Pearson car had been involved in an incident in front of him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The 92 spun first. Buckshot was slowing down, and there's the damage to the Stanley Tool Chevrolet, the Mac Martin-owned car of Larry Pearson. Buckshot also headed to pit road as we are under caution for the first time today at Indianapolis Raceway Park. 9 laps complete of 200. Back with more live action in the Kroger NASCAR 200 after this.
We're code 5. This happens hundreds of times a day in the United States. A burglar wants to break into your home. Now you can do your part to help police protect your family from harm with the Door Club. The Door Club is powerful home security. When properly installed, the Door Club holds up to the toughest of burglars, easily withstanding up to 2 tons of force. After dozens of attempts to break into this home, it was the Door Club that kept the door in place. The deadbolt, chain lock, and door jambs were totally destroyed.
I'm Deputy John Boggs. I've broken down many doors in the line of duty, but I never met my match like I did with the Door Club.
Don't rely on the home security products of the past. Where deadbolts and chain locks fail, you need the Door Club home security system from the makers of the Club anti-theft device.
NASCAR Kroger 200 at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Tim Feedaway had to come in. He'd been black flagged before this caution period. His window net had fallen, so this was a break for him. He was able to come in under caution, get it put back up without losing a lap. And you're looking at Larry Pearson, who was involved in that crash. A lot of damage to the left rear of this car. In fact, as I look under, part of the framework has been pushed down. I noticed when he was driving around the track, a lot of wheel hop in the rear end, and that's usually is not a very good sign, but looks like a lot of severe damage to Larry Pearson, the 1987 winner of this event. He's going to be in the pits for quite a while.
And Ryan Pemberton, the crew down there working on Larry Pearson, not only is this costly as far as an effort to win, but he is currently 4th in the point standings, just 11 points behind Mike McLaughlin in 3rd spot. So this could be a very costly delay. It'll cost Pearson some points, and of course any chance he might have had at victory tonight is going away. Heavy damage on the back of that Chevrolet.
Yes, there is a lot of damage to his car. Don't know what caused him to get into the wall to begin with, but as you correctly pointed out, he was already up against the wall when we saw the cars of Buckshot Jones and Green getting together.
Take a look at our top 15 as they stand right now. Elton Sawyer is our leader. Johnny Benson, Jason Keller, David Green, and Doug Hevron in the top 5. After 10 laps, 6 through 10, Bobby Dutter, Tommy Houston, Johnny Rumley, Herbie Sadler, Curtis Markham, and 11 through 15, Kevin LePage, Phil Parsons, Jeff Fuller, Dennis Setzer, and Tracy Leslie. Still working the first caution of the evening. Back with more Busch Series action after this.
The electronic control for ABS waits all its working life for moments like this. Anti-lock brake control, another little black box from Delco Electronics.
Start Suzuki Dual Sport 650, 350, 250, and 125. No other line has a wider range.
Too hot in your car? Don't sweat it. Now at Pep Boys, get a cool deal on our air conditioning quick check for just $19.99. Our AC quick check only $19.99. Come to Pep Boys now. Now at Pep Boys, get any 4 of our 35,000-mile all-season steel-belted tires at an incredible low $109. That's right, any 75 or 80 series, any 4, just $109 at Pep Boys now.
Back at IRP, still under caution. Taking a look at our series point leader, Chad Little. Remember, he started back in 34th position, the final qualifier. Currently in 20th spot. On a flat racetrack where it's tough to pass, he's gained 14 spots in 13 laps, the 3 of which have been under caution. Let's go to John Kernan.
Jerry, Larry Pearson has pulled the car behind the wall. A lot of damage to that left rear. They're going to have to work it. I think they're going to have to straighten some part of the framework. But the first thing, Larry, that he said to me was, who put the oil down? So you ran into oil out there?
Yeah, after we'd already crashed, the spotter come back and told me somebody said it was oil up there in turn 3, and I guess it was a car that was directly in front of me or a couple of cars in front of me. I was the only one that hit it, and then a couple more got into it behind me, and I don't know, just one of those deals, I guess.
Now we had the rain delay, and finally we get the race started after the drying process. How was the track?
Oh, the track was okay. You know, it wasn't because of the rain or anything. The track's pretty dry, but, you know, I don't know, just one of those deals.
Well, you can see the obvious disappointment in his face. They've got a lot of work to do, guys.
And they're working awfully hard because of the fact that they are up in the point standings and would like to be able to stay there. To get back and get as many laps in as possible. Let's take a look and let you see where your favorite driver is running. There's Elton Sawyer, our pole sitter and current leader. He has led every single lap, all 14, since the drop of the green.
Of course, right behind him is Johnny Benson, the Lipton T Chevrolet.
Behind that is Jason Keller's Budget Gourmet Chevrolet, looking for his first Busch Series win ever, riding along in 3rd spot.
Last year's champion, David Green, in the Slim Jim Chevrolet.
Green back in 4th position, back behind him. Good run for Doug Hevron. The Milacron efforts, that is the Mike Laughlin-owned car, and Hevron getting better and better, particularly on the short tracks.
Bobby Donner running in 6th place in the High Tools Chevrolet.
And there is the ageless one, Tommy Houston. Tommy Houston, the Red Devil Enamel Sport Thunderbird. Runner-up here a year ago. He's currently running in 7th position.
And in the 8th position is the Big Johnson, car number 25 by Johnny Runtley.
That's a Don Beverly-owned car. Behind him, the former Rookie of the Year, the DeWalt Tools. Car number 1, that's a Chevrolet for Herbie Sadler in 8th spot.
And then comes Curtis Markham, car number 63, the Lysol car.
Behind him, the car 71, Kevin LePage, the Vermont Teddy Bear Company machine. And LePage likes the short tracks. He likes those flat facilities. And he is being shown in the car number 71 back in 10th, or back 11th position, correct? They make that 11th.
I tell you, he liked those big tracks, too, because he ran strong at Talladega a few weeks ago. And here's Phil Parsons in the Luxair machine, number 99.
David F. prepared car. Phil Parsons in 12th position. Currently 10th in the point standings. Last year's winner, Mike Wallace, in the Ron Payne's car, number 90.
He's looking to try to move up through the field a little bit further. And then Mike McLaughlin in the Sunoco, car number 47. That's Mike McLaughlin. That's Jeff Fuller. I'll get them straight here, Jerry. Straighten out.
92 Modified Series champion. And behind him in the 42 is Dennis Setzer in 15th spot. Started the year driving for the Alliance Tractor Training Service people. That ride went away. Now driving for the car number 42 efforts, Fred Turner.
And right behind him is former winner here at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. Is Tracy Leslie in the Detroit Gasket car.
Back behind him, Rodney Combs in the car number 43, Country Time sponsored Pontiac. That's the car owned by Richard Petty. His other car will start outside the front row tomorrow at the Brickyard. What a great effort by Bobby Hamilton.
And here's Randy LaJoy driving the Duralube car, number 64, having a good run here tonight.
Dennis Shoemaker owned machine. LaJoy possibly driving that some later in the year. Joe Bessie, 19th place. Joe was really trying to get on board and finally got the Delco Remy people to come on board. Delco Remy America, we should say. His first entry back in Busch competition in quite some time. Good to see Joe back. Always a very competitive driver. Runs the big tracks very well.
And he's in 19th, and 20th place driver is Jeff Green in the Teresa Earnhardt Goodrich Chevrolet number 3.
And the car number 95, that's the Buzz McCall-owned Caterpillar-sponsored Chevrolet Wardbert. Back up, and Ward is being shown in 21st spot.
And right behind him is
that is Chris Diamond in 22nd position, the J&L Motors efforts. Chris, a late model stock car competitor, now moving up in the Busch ranks. And we told you Chad Little started 34th, is now 23rd in the car number 23.
And we mentioned he'd gotten almost half a lap behind Jerry, so this caution is going to help him to tighten that up a little bit, move a little bit closer to the front runners. And we're about ready to go green flag racing.
There's Mike McLaughlin, one of the cars that had to spin or at least jump on the brakes up there a moment ago to avoid the spinning cars of Larry Pearson and Buckshot Jones. We get set to go green flag racing once again. That's the front two right there. We are showing 17 laps complete. Elton Sawyer and Johnny Benson and now Jason Keller. They are nose to tail as Carl Simmons waves that green hanky and they come at you full bore.
Tracy Leslie, Dennis Setzer, Jeff Fuller going at it. Looks like Leslie's going to get the position.
That is 14th and 15th position. You're running along with Dennis Setzer on board Band-Aid Pontiac's machine. Fred Turner on car. Modified Ace right in front of him. And here's Chad Littleview. Hopefully he's not looking to that side, but that's Chris Diamond who's trying to go by. They nearly banged a little fender. A little bit of fender tag. The car number 23, he makes his way toward the front.
You got to expect that on a track of this size, and especially one that's tough to pass on, as Johnny Benson just found out is tough to pass on. He thought he had Elton Sawyer, but couldn't quite make it.
And we saw a couple of moves last night in the truck race. It didn't work like that. You get about halfway there, and he still shut the door. And boy, what a mess that makes. Benson was halfway up and thought better of it and backed out a moment ago.
You get down there, Jerry, and you get your left wheels down on the flatter part of the racetrack, and you step on the gas, and you just simply don't get traction. And that's what happened to Johnny Benson. He just didn't have the traction. He's running all over Elton Sawyer. I think his car's a little bit faster but he can't get around it.
Now, if you're Jason Keller, you're sitting back there riding along, watching that battle, do you get up there and say, let's see what I can do with him, or do you lay back and say, this is going to be a heck of a wreck?
No, I think he's doing the right thing. He's staying back about 3 or 4 car lengths, and in case something does happen that he might have room to dodge. Well, just as I say that, he pulls right up pretty close on him, coming off the turn forward.
Boy, Benson is all over the rear of Elton Sawyer. He is high, he is low. He has done everything but climb over the rear deck of that car number 38, the Ford Credit red carpet releases, and now he's on the inside.
But again, he breaks loose. Almost loses it. Now Keller's going to go by on the inside. Good piece of driving by Johnny Benson. He almost bought the farm right there. He just about spun it out.
And it cost him a position on the racetrack, but a whale of a job driving.
Not yet. He's on the outside going into the turn. He has the preferred position, so he will stay up in second place.
Good call, Ned. Outside, that's the quick way here. He's going to turns very, very high near the wall.
Well, plus the fact that Jason Keller is driving a very smart race. He knew that going in there on the inside, even though he might have looked like he had the advantage, that he could wreck himself and maybe Benson and several others too. So he wisely backed out.
On board with Jason Keller, 25 years of age, the budget Gourmet Chevrolet. Riding in third spot, what a view we have. That's 1, 2, 3. Left side of your screen is Sawyer, then Benson, then Keller. Ford, Chevrolet.
And look how quickly Johnny Benson now will move back in the field a little bit, but Johnny Benson has moved back up on him. Elton Sawyer pretty closely here as we ride with Dennis Setzer. He's been trying for several laps to move around Jeff Fuller, but simply has not been able to do it.
Watching that battle back for 14th and 15th position, Fuller. The Sunoco sponsored car number 47. That is a Chevrolet. Here's a battle, car number 08, Bobby Dotter. And Doug Hebron. And they battle for 5th and 6th position.
And trouble here on the turn forward.
A complete 360 loop by Marty Ward. And that brings the fans to their feet. No caution flag. He looked around Joey Chitwood style, kept it going, and has it on the inside of the track, and the leaders are coming in a hurry, but we have no yellow flag.
Boy, that was a great piece of driving, or a great piece of luck, or maybe a little bit of both. I don't know, but he just did a 360, as you pointed out. Keeps going, still out there in the lead lap.
Spun it around, didn't lose a lap, but still has about 20 car lengths. And they are side by side. That's Mike Wallace on the inside of Kevin LePage. Here is Phil Parsons, car number 99, trying to make a move.
There's Tracy Leslie right behind them. Tracy's coming up easy. He's picking them off one at a time as Phil Parsons gets his nose under LePage. Let's see if he can make the pass. He's going to drive it deep into the turn, and he will make the pass. And here comes Leslie.
That is 12th, 13th, and 14th. And you see the 14th, the 15th, and 16th cars behind him. Meanwhile, back up front, Johnny Benson has now pulled back to within a half a car length of Elton Sawyer. As these two continue to seesaw within a car length and a half of each other in first and second. We'll keep an eye on the leaders, but this battle back here, they have been side by side, and now Dennis Setzer has gotten around the car number 47 of Fuller and moves in on Kevin LePage, and that would be for the 13th position. Setzer cuts it down on the inside and takes the Pontiac.
I think LePage's car is handling the way that he would like for it to, Jerry. Several cars have passed him here in the last few laps. Marty Ward brings his car down pit road, the leader's car.
Setzer taking 13th position in the car number 42. That's LePage back in 14th, and behind him Fuller in 15th spot.
They're less than a quarter of a lap behind the leaders. Those cars you can watch Setzer and that group. So they're keeping pace pretty well.
And there are the leaders. Elton Sawyer's car number 38. Johnny Benson behind him. Ford Thunderbird leading the way here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. But, oh, that Monte Carlo is right on his bumper, about a half a car length back. And here is Chad Little. Now, what's going on with Chad? He's got a good look at Ward Burton. Is heavy impact. That's the car number 99 of Phil Parsons is involved.
And the car number 63 of Curtis Markham involved as well. And there was another blue car, I believe, that was involved too. He might have pulled away.
Might have been the 68. We didn't check that. 99 Phil Parsons involved, and that's heavy damage on the back of his car. And the luck there.
Curtis Markham coming out of his car. Phil pulls up there to either say something to him or check out how he's doing. And that's probably not checking out to see how he's doing because he came out of the car.
There is Curtis Markham, one of the rookie competitors here. Let's see if we can see what might have happened down in turn 1.
Well, there, the 63 car broke loose. Now, whether he had some help from the, was it the 53 car?
Yeah, the 53, that is Mark Madison, sprint car driver out of Texas, making his first Busch start.
Phil Parsons just came along, had nowhere to go as those cars were spinning in front of him. He rams into him.
There's the young man making his first Busch start tonight out of Texas. Has run some NASCAR Sportsman Series. Actually attempted to qualify at Myrtle Beach, but this is his first time to make the field. Let's check in with John Kernan.
Well, Phil Parsons radioed in just after that and told David If that he's either lost the rear end gear also or the drive shaft. You see them pushing the car over to the side. They're going to have to push that back here. Now, don't know if that helped cause this problem out there on the racetrack, but Phil has radioed in and told David that.
Under caution for the second time here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. An incident down in turn 1 involving 3 cars. Looks like Curtis Markham and Phil Parsons, the more heavily damaged among the 3. Back with more green flag racing action, NASCAR Busch Series style after this.
Showtime right here.
Football fans, get ready for the all-new 1995 NFL Team Kickoff Kit, free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Just tell us your favorite team.
Tigers, Cowboys, 49ers, baby.
And we'll give you an exclusive team video and a fantastic new Sports Illustrated sweatshirt.
We did it, didn't we?
Your Team Kickoff Kit starts with your official 1995 team video. Find out if your team will thrive in 95.
And we got plenty more where that came from.
You'll also get an incredible SI logo sweatshirt. Yours free through this exclusive TV offer.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Hey, this is great. I'll put it on right now.
Call now. Use your credit card and you'll get 54 issues of Sports Illustrated for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price, and your incredible Team Kickoff Kit is free. Nobody gives you more of your team than Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
That brings up Big Mo Vaughn.
86 season, please. I heard that 86. And I'm sick of it, okay? You make one tiny mistake, and they never let you forget it. They just keep laughing and laughing at you. I got news for all of you, all right? We're going to be the ones laughing this year. We're going to be laughing at you, and you can wipe that 86 smile right off your face! Get out of my way!
Red Sox, man. Buckner will be avenged! Buckner will be avenged!
Back at Indianapolis Raceway Park, exciting short track action. Already 2 caution flags, and we aren't 40 laps into this one yet tonight. 200 laps will complete the NASCAR Kroger 200. That's a look at Ward Burton's car number 95. Caterpillar-sponsored car, Buzz McCall. There is Ward Burton. Being shown back in 19th position. Chevrolet Monte Carlo. And how about this guy? Car number 23, Ned. He started 34th, and where is he right now?
Up in the 18th position. Chad has made a good move towards the front. Been helped a little bit by some of the things that have happened in front of him, but he dodged them and got on through, passed a lot of cars, so he's moving well along.
This guy's made a career coming from the back of the field. Did it at Daytona 2 years in a row. In fact, hey, last week at South Boston was leading, got involved with a slower car, cut a couple of tires down. The caution comes out. He didn't lose a lap, but he went to the back of the field on a very tough racetrack and came all the way back to win the race. Remember about 8 or 10 laps ago, we told you this car was trying to make a pass, and we said, what a job Johnny Benson did. Well, take a look at this recovery out of turn 2.
Okay, it gets a nose on the inside of Elton Sawyer, but the back end breaks loose, and look how he had to fight that wheel. Jason Keller got up beside of him going into turn 3, and they raced through there side by side, but when they went into turn 1, you can see that Benson is able to pull back out in front and maintain the second position.
Not only did he not hit the wall, he did not spin out. He didn't even lose a spot on the racetrack, so that's quite an effort by Johnny Benson, reigning Rookie of the Year in the series.
Okay, one more lap, and we'll be back to green flag racing.
Elton Sawyer has led all 40 laps thus far. He was the pole sitter. And here's a guy that's made a move as well. Tracy Leslie started way back. I think he started back in 24th spot, and now being shown in 12th position. So certainly this guy, he's a former winner here.
Yes, he's passed a lot of good race cars to get up there too, Jerry. And he knows his way around this racetrack as well as anyone. He likes this type of racetrack. He has a lot of patience and also a lot of finesse. And you might wonder, does he have patience passing this many cars this early in the race, but his car's working that well that he can do it.
Remember when he won here in 93, he said, I'm going to get the monkey off my back, and he actually threw a stuffed monkey at the camera in victory. I guess it was a stuffed, that was a stuffed monkey.
Yeah.
At the camera in victory lane, said, I'm getting the monkey off my back. Back to green flag racing action. Glad to have you with us and come at you at IRP on lap 42. Single file, first, second, third, but the battle heating up for fourth position as Doug Hebron, boy, starting to get a little worrisome there for David Green. And Curtis Markham, heavily damaged in that incident a moment ago, is in the pits, and John Kernan is caught up with it. John?
Jerry, they've got the Lysol branch Pontiac behind the wall trying to get it fixed to get it back out there. Curtis, a lot of damage to the car. What happened?
It's unfortunate. The Lysol Pontiac was really running good. We were just biding our time, taking it easy. We were, wanted to wait until after halfway to make a run at it. And unfortunately, we were lapping a slower car, the 53 car, and he just run in the side of me and turned me around. Nothing I could do.
In a heck of a rookie battle, you guys will try and get it back out. How long do you think it's going to take?
I don't know. We got some oil leaking out of it, but this Hensley racing team is real determined. We'll get this car back out on the racetrack.
That's Curtis Markham. Bill Parsons also behind the wall, and Bill Weber has that story.
We're looking at the Lux Ceremonic Carlo. It's got heavy sheet metal done to the right front, and the rear of this car is all bashed in. Bill's still sitting in the car having a drink. They're hoping to get it back out. They're looking under the rear end now, doing some work around the hub, perhaps checking out the axle. But Bill Parson, who was 10th in points coming in here, losing critical time behind the wall.
And Jerry, when I mentioned that Phil had pulled up there to Curtis Markham and stopped, obviously he had a car he couldn't go any farther. That was the reason he pulled there and stopped. There's no problem between those two drivers.
We remain single file toward the front. Johnny Benson in second spot, and here's Tim Fedewood trying to make a move. Fedewood in the car number 55. He is being shown a lap down.
Well, he was black flagged there earlier in the race. We thought that he stayed on the lead lap. As a matter of fact, the scoreboard is showing him as in the lead lap, but it's got him way back down the line. I don't know what the situation is there, Jared, but we'll try to get that straightened out, but he is running good.
We'll check on our NASCAR monitor. They do have him showing at the tail of the field behind cars that are laps down. But anyway, there is Fedewood running very, very strong, riding along with this guy, the Clark West Harris Teeter Bayer roof cab for Chad Little, our point leader, and he now is in 19th position. Mike McLaughlin, the car number 34.
And here comes Vito on the inside of him. Duragloss Ford, number 55.
That is 20th and 21st position there. The 68 is Chris Diamond.
Another good battle has been going on the racetrack, and it's about to go away as Mike Wallace finally gets around Hermie Sadler. They've been battling since the green flag dropped here after this last caution, and Wallace was finally able to make the pass, and now Vincent trying to make a pass too.
And the crowd on their feet as Johnny Benson has the Chevy on the inside. Marley Carlo muscles its way on the inside, but Sawyer says, no way, I'm going to hang on, but he can't do it. And Benson will lead that time by lap 52. We have a new leader in the NASCAR Kroger 200. Johnny Benson showing the way, Sawyer in second, and now we'll see if Jason Keller can possibly handle Elton Sawyer.
Well, we mentioned earlier that Benson might be a little bit faster, but just simply couldn't get around Sawyer. We'll see now if he is faster, if he's able to pull away.
And side-by-side action, Mike McLaughlin, that's for position. The car number 34 moving by the 68. That is 21st and 22nd. Sawing that steering wheel.
Chris Diamond in the car number 68. And here is Rodney Combs slowing down. His car is definitely off the pace. He is headed in to the pits, going into turn 3.
Tough break for Rodney Combs. Richard Petty owns Country Time sponsored Pontiac. There's Joe Bessie's car number 9, the Delco Remy America machine. He tries to make a move inside of Tim. That's the car number 18, rather. He's making a move inside of Randy Porter. And here they are, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. David Green in the 44, Doug Hebron the 35. Away to Bobby Dotter and Tommy Houston.
Houston still having a good run here. Stayed right there with those cars. Up there in the lead lap. And up here in the front.
Hebron now trying to find his way around the defending series champion, the Slim Jim Chevy of David Green. That's Larry Pearson's car. You saw them go by a moment ago. He is back on the racetrack, obviously not up to speed as of yet, but if you joined us late, he was involved in an incident down in turn 3. His car backing into the wall because of hitting a patch of oil. 57 laps in the books. We've had 2 caution flags and 1 lead change as Johnny Benson is our leader. In second spot is Elton Sawyer as we are live here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Back with more green flag action after this.
When it comes to roping a steer, folks in Grand Junction, Colorado will tell you that Ron Markin can ride with the best of them. And when it comes to overhauling an engine or rebuilding a carburetor, well, he can do it all. You see, when Ron's not riding a horse for fun, he's turning a wrench for a living. So he buys a lot of parts, mostly from AutoZone. Sure, there are other parts stores in town, but Ron knows that when you want the right part for the right price, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
The decisive electronics that control this airbag are still alert and waiting for what might be around the next corner. Airbag control, another little black box from Delco Electronics.
You can compare the Suzuki RF to a lot of things. Another motorcycle isn't one of them.
Great sports sites. The #1 sports site on the net.
Welcome back to Indianapolis Raceway Park in the NASCAR Kroger 200 Johnny Benson is still your leader, and Rodney Combs in the King's Busch Grand National car is behind the wall. Rodney, problem with the rear end gear?
Well, we headed for the country time, people. We was having a good run. Come from 22nd to 15th, taking our time. Had a top 10 car. We sort of shot that down right now, but I think we broke quick change gears. We can get them fixed, get back out there and stay in the top 10 points. But want to thank Country Time and Snapper for being with us. Now for the rest of the year, Country Time for this race. And just say hello to all my fans and family out there. We're going to get back in here. We're going to win this one this year.
Well, Rodney Combs trying to get back in it as the crew goes to work. Of course, as I said, this is one of King's Richard's cars for fame number 43. Remember his other, the Winston Cup car. Bobby Hamilton starting on the outside of the front row tomorrow for the Brickyard 400, and they certainly hope to have a lot of good luck, too.
And we'll have all the pre-race activities, our Brickyard 400 pre-race special coming up at 12 noon tomorrow on ESPN. And here's our leader tonight, though, Dad, Johnny Benson. And boy, now you said he might pull away. He started to a little bit, but he's stretched it out to about 4 or 5 car lengths, and that's where it stayed.
Yeah, really hasn't been able to pull away as far as I thought he would. And while we were doing those interviews and watching some other action, Doug Hebron has moved around David Green into the 4th place. Here's the 3rd place car. We're riding with him. That is Jason Keller. Gourmet car. Here's Hebron.
There is Hebron. Now, he, as you said, is in the 3rd position, or I should say the 4th position, as he's moved around Green. He goes by Kevin Ray. There is David Green in 5th spot, the 08 of Donner. Look behind Donner. There's the car number 90, the car that won a year ago, Mike Wallace. And Wallace, even though he had limited practice, had just 1 hour of practice on Thursday prior to qualifying, spent all his day at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He started back in the 13th spot, is now being shown in 8th position.
Well, he's moving right on up. There he goes on the inside of Donner. He's got that Ford working down on the inside. Didn't quite make that pass, though. Came up on the left car down on the inside. This is all back in line. There's Tommy Houston running right along behind Mike Wallace. Houston in the red Devil car.
After going by Houston, he's in 7th spot. Bobby Donner in the 08 machine. Now, Donner in the process of buying that race team. They hope to have all the papers signed this week, and he will own the team solely, that 08 machine. And the High Tool people said if Donner buys the team, we're going to stay with him because we realize how much talent and how much potential this young man has. And Bobby's father, Bob Donner, is the crew chief on that machine, we are told tonight. Former 3-time ARCA champion.
I think David Green's car is working as good as we've seen that Slim Chevrolet market in the past. He held Hebron up for a while. Hebron finally got by, and it looks like he's holding Donner up. Of course, that's his privilege. He's running in that position, and he has that groove, and he's doing a good job of maintaining that position at the moment. Here comes Mike Wallace trying to get out on the inside of Donner. Down on the inside of Mike Wallace. Good, tight racing. Back there for the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th place.
Mike Wallace with the car number 90. That's Houston behind him with the car number 6. Johnny Benson, your leader. Sawyer in 2nd. Keller is 3rd. Hebron 4th.
David Green is 5th, and he is only 3 4/10 seconds behind Johnny Benson, so he's not too far behind.
Coming up after the race, Sports Center will be coming your way with Craig Kilburn and Mike Tirico. All the great stories, strong returns, NFL, preseason highlights, and NBA labor woes. That's all coming your way at the conclusion of the NASCAR Kroger 200. Sports Center, Craig Kilburn and Mike Tirico will be there in the studio. Thanks for hanging with us, folks, so we can have live NASCAR Busch Series racing action right here on ESPN. There's a rundown, top 10 after 70 laps. Hermie Sadler being shown in the 10th spot. As you ride along with the car number 23, that is Chad Little, who started back in 34th. Being shown right now in 17th position, right behind Jeff Green.
Those cars are about a third of a lap behind the leader, so not very far back there. Got some tough cars for Chad Little to try to pass.
There's Green behind the car number 47 of Fuller.
And here's Fuller trying to make the pass on Kevin LePage. That's on the inside. He might have, and Jeff Green going to try to do the same thing way down low coming off the turn. He can't quite make the pass.
And now look who is on the bumper of Jeff Green.
Trying to get up on the high side of him. That's a gutsy move. Boy, there wasn't any room out there. Squeezed him right into the wall.
That's what a spotter is for, huh? When you're out on the outside.
Yes, but maybe I better get out of this thing. That path is getting narrow up there where I was trying to hit.
As we told you, Mike Wallace was making a run in the car number 90. Now making a move on the outside of Bobby Donner in the 08. And he will take that spot away.
Houston goes by Donner as well. That's 6th for Mike Wallace.
The man who owns a race car for Mike Wallace is also the crew chief, and that's Barry Owen. He's standing by the pits.
Barry, he's got a rocket out there.
Well, he said the car's a little bit loose right now. We're just taking our time with a little adjustment on a pit stop. We should be fine.
What's he telling you about track conditions?
He hadn't mentioned anything about track conditions.
Okay, Barry Owen's a man of few words, but Mike Wallace is not. He told us before the race he might have something for everybody tonight, and so far, he's got plenty right on the rip up for David Green as they come out of 4.
And he is in 6th position. The car in front of him, the 44 car of David Green, is in 5th spot as they are nose to tail, moving by some of the lap cars as the laps are continuing to click away here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. 81 laps in the books of 200, which comprise the NASCAR Kroger 200. Johnny Benson is our leader as the car number 38 of Elton Sawyer just about getting past a move there. As you see now, Mike Wallace making a move, racing all around this racetrack.
They're flat going at it. No doubt about it.
Well, we thought we were going to have a couple of passes, and now Mike Wallace says one more time. Let's see if Mike can make the move, and he tries to set up Green, and David will hold his line and hold the position. So we'll take a quick break and come back with more live racing action, NASCAR style, from Indianapolis Raceway Park in just a moment. Don't go away.
At Pep Boys, save $40 on our premium brake service. Our ASE certified technicians will install Raybestos lifetime brakes for only $59.99 after rebate. Get lifetime brakes installed for only $59.99 at Pep Boys now. Now at Pep Boys, get any 4 of our 35,000-mile all-season steel-belted tires at an incredible low $109. That's right, any 75 or 80 series, any 4, just $109 at Pep Boys now.
To perfect the all-new 1995 Monte Carlo, we spent countless hours adjusting the audio controls. You see, Monte Carlo was designed from the inside out to be your own personal space, so every interior detail had to be in harmony. Paying attention to something as small as the texture of a control is what makes Monte Carlo seem more like, say, a $40,000 car than one that costs half that much. Which also makes the new Monte Carlo a genuine Chevrolet.
The electronic control for ABS waits all its working life for moments like this. Anti-lock brake control, another little black box from Delco Electronics.
Welcome back to Indianapolis Raceway Park. John Kerner, Bill Weber down here on pit road. Richard and Dr. Jerry Punch are up in the booth. Potential problem with the series points leader, Chad Little, has the car developing somewhat of a problem like to get a caution, get down here and pit, see if they can fix the problem. Gary?
As you're watching Chad Little now make a move on the inside of Kevin LePage. That is for 17th position. LePage on the outside. And Little on the inside as they are side by side. And here's a man that's been on the move. Mike Wallace in the car number 9. Is Deron Paints Ford. Barry Owen on machine. That is Wallace with the car number 6 of Tommy Houston right behind him. And he is being shown in 5th position.
Wallace has come on up through there, but his car's getting very, very loose. Houston is really working on him. Got trouble there. Hey, we got the lights knocked out last night, and it looks like we got the lights knocked out again. The caution is out.
That happened in the truck race last night. One of the truck drivers getting sideways up there, and car sliding broadside down the backstretch, and once again, then that car has hit the light pole. Broadside.
Chris Diamond in the J&L Motors car. We saw Chris moving around in the car. Hopefully he's okay, but he hit that thing sideways and really hit it hard, and he can knock that light out. Still likely, in fact, I know it knocked that light out. It's pretty dark over there in turn 3.
Let's see if we can see what happened. Now, Diamond's car is the blue car. Gets a little tap from behind.
Yep, sure does. And around he goes. Was that the Elton Sawyer car that tapped him?
Looks like it might have been Sawyer once he got him sideways. There are the flaps coming up. Now, he has no control, and there's that light pole. There's a barricade there in front of the light pole, a concrete barricade that car has come to rest against. Pit stop's taking place. Let's go to John Kernan.
From this side, the left side, we can't see any of the damage, but I can see the cruise on the right front. Apparently, Johnny got up against somebody, got a little bit of a sheet metal pushed in. They had to pull it back. Now on the left side, tires going on. Here comes Chad Little will be coming in. David Green, they're coming around to the left side. Johnny Benson's crew that is going to win the race off pit road as Elton Sawyer follows, and Jason Keller. And look at that, Bobby Donner, a great pit stop for them. Also, Johnny Ruffley as he leaves pit road. Chad Little is also in. They're changing right side tires now, coming around to the left side. We would anticipate Chad, after getting service, will come back in. And what they're going to do, guys, they've got a rev limiter chip that they're going to replace the next time live if the caution will be long enough. And Chad, they're just now making the chassis adjustments. The left side tires have changed. He is down the way. I think we'll see him back on pit road next time by.
Riding along with Chad Little. They made a chassis adjustment as well on the Chad Little car. And as you heard John Kernan say, they will come back in apparently and put another rev limiter chip in the car because he had moved up from 34th to about 18th, and that's where he had sort of stalled.
Well, there are 21 cars on the lead lap. That's what the scoring is showing right now, and Chad is back there, the last car on the lead lap, so he'll catch up to the field perhaps and come back in the next time, so he really doesn't have anything to lose by coming in again.
We are under caution for the 3rd time today, and here again is what happened. Here is Chris Diamond's car sliding sideways toward the barricade, and watch the lights. Hits that pole, the lights shatter, and here is 24 hours ago, almost the same spot in the Super Truck race.
And this was the last lap. And that's Gary Saint-Amant in the car, truck number 77, and he slides backwards into it. The lights went out. Well, it's time to go home then because the race was over.
That's an awfully sturdy light pole. 2 licks from 2 different kind of vehicles, and it's still standing. The bulbs went away, but the pole's still there. Under caution for the 3rd time at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Back in a moment. Stay with us.
NASCAR drivers say there's no track in the world that's tougher on brakes than the one in Martinsville, Virginia. So when they take the green flag here, they all have one thing in common, the same brand of brakes. Because without them, you can't come down this straightaway at 120 miles an hour and still make it through the turn. So which brand do NASCAR drivers use to get them through 500 laps at Martinsville? Performance Friction Carbon Metallic. And we stock them at AutoZone.
Sunday, we believe in putting on our best. Maybe that's why no car company has won more races in the history of NASCAR. than Chevrolet.
Now, there's a brand new motor oil made to handle the stresses on your hard-working engine. 4x4 from Quaker State. Off-road driving. Extreme temperatures. Especially towing and hauling. They all make your light truck or 4x4 work extra hard and could shorten its life. Why settle for a conventional car oil? Get a synthetic blend that can take the punishment. 4x4. It's new from Quaker State. The intelligent oil for hard-working engines.
Our Speed World coverage of the NASCAR Kroger 200 is being brought to you by Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life. By the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by the NASCAR Story. To order, call 800-71-NASCAR. And Chad Little was just back on pit road a moment ago. They came back in and changed that rev limiter, we are told, and we're also hearing they may have an alternator problem in the car, which would explain maybe why the car's been missing a little bit.
Yeah, that could certainly make things not totally right under the hood. Don't know what they've been able to do about it, or if there is anything that they can do about it at this point.
Once again, we are working the third caution flag of the evening, an incident, a rather frightening incident down the backstretch involving Chris Diamond.
Well, Jerry, Chad Little was back in. They did not replace the rev limiter chip. They got together and talked things over and decided it might be the alternator. So Mike Egge, the engine builder, has checked it out. It's measuring about 10 volts. It should be measuring a minimum of 12 volts. So they've got a spare battery out that if they got time, they might be changing that. Now let's go down pit road to Bill Weber.
And this is way down pit road. We're almost in turn 3 where Mike Wallace is pitting. He came in, got 4 tires. They put a round of wedge in. Had a little trouble with the left rear, so it was a little bit of a more lengthy pit stop than they had hoped. But if Mike Wallace was loose, then he should be even better. Tommy Houston put on 4 new tires, same air pressure as they started, so those 2 cars should be pretty good.
And take a look at our AutoZone race recap. Our leader is Johnny Benson, has led 45 laps, 1 lead change. Elton Sawyer was the pole sitter and led the first 51. Cautions 3 for 21 laps. The average speed 76.990. Our lap leader, just 2 of them. Elton Sawyer led 38, and Benson, our current leader, is 74. Cars that have been pulled behind the wall: Curtis Markham, Rodney Combs, Phil Parsons, Larry Pearson, and the latest retiree, Chris Diamond. That incident over on the backstretch. Not too bad for what has been a wild night here at Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Larry Pearson is back out there now after having made repairs, and we're going racing again.
Lap 98, couple of laps away from the halfway point.
There's Joe Bessie there in the car number 9. He was on the tail end of the lead lap, a lap down now. Johnny Benson. And we got a spin.
Dennis Setzer involved, a couple other cars spinning over there. Jeff Fuller is involved, the 0-0 of Buckshot Jones, and caution won't come out. Setzer loops the car around and will try to keep the car on the lead lap as the pace car comes out. And indeed, he will stay on the lead lap as the pace car will catch the field just behind Setzer. Let's see if we can see what happened as they were all jumbled up there in turns 1 and 2 on the restart.
A lot of cars running very close together, and that somebody got hit from behind. Was that Fuller that got hit from behind first?
Looks like Setzer got Fuller from behind, spun Fuller, and then trying to get on the brakes. He gets tapped, and his car spins. Fuller continues to go on his way, and that will bring the caution flag out for the 4th time.
But it'll be a short caution. 1 lap to go, and we'll go back to green flag racing.
And we have completed 100 laps. We are halfway home, and now if the showers would return, if it would rain, it would be a complete race here, the Kroger NASCAR 200. There's Carl Simmons with the cross flag, signifying we are halfway in this 200-lap event.
Jeff Fuller is in the pits. Let's see what they're pulling quarter panel away from that right rear tire to be sure that it's not rubbing. They look it over. And remember, he has completed more laps than anyone in this series this year. So he wants to continue to do that, so he goes back out. Green flag about to come. Johnny Johnny Vincent, the leader. Elton Sawyer, second. Jason Keller is third. Bobby Dotter, fourth place. You can see the top 10, the way they're running.
And let's ride along with Dennis Setzer's in-car, see if we can see how he saw it.
Just a little bit of a tap into Jeff Bolin. Hopefully a harmless spin. Brought out the caution, but the green flag is out again now. Joe Bessick, car number 9, is trying to get back in the lead lap, but can't do it. Gets a little bit too fast. Brandon LaJoy in the Euroleague car number 64 up there also one lap down.
Now you're riding along with Chad Little as he watches the crowd go by. Actually, he's going by the crowd. That's out the right side window. And who's behind him? Well, we'll take a look at that in-car camera. Here is the car number 90. That's Mike Wallace trying to make a move inside of Mike McLaughlin. A little bit of contact there with that short track racing.
And Tommy Houston now trying to move on the inside of Mike Wallace. But he can't quite make that pass either as Wallace looks again.
The car number 23 is Chad Little. He made a couple of pit stops. They thought they might have a problem with the rev limiter. Your John Curtis said that wasn't the case. They thought it might be the alternator, possibly a battery problem. So Little's car had been sputtering and missing, and now here is Fuller going by. So obviously Little is not up to full par.
No, that car is definitely not running. It's running good, Jerry, but not, as you say, up to full steam.
Little area of darkness in the backstretch. If you just joined us, we lost a light pole and about 3 lights momentarily. 2 caution flags ago from a spin by Chris Diamond. Had a little bit of help from Elton Sawyer. That car sliding broadside, taking the lights out. So that's why it gets a little dark right along there.
You see that car number 64 mentioned Randy LaJoy is a lap down. He lost that lap in the pits, Gary. He's been running in the lead lap all night. Lost the lap in the pits, trying desperately to get it back. Talking about that darkness over there. Hey, when we ran dirt tracks and short asphalt tracks. Now, this is way back when, you know, in the late 50s and early 60s. That would have been a light, real light turn over there.
That would have been a bright spot.
Been a bright spot, yeah.
Johnny Rumley in the car number 25. Don Beverly car having a pretty good run. Rumley being shown in 5th spot. You watch the field come passing by. Stevie Reeves. As you ride along with Dennis Setzer behind the Jeff Green car, the Teresa Earnhardt machine, Goodrich Chevrolet. They are posting that as being the battle for 14th and 15th.
Ooh, Mike Wallace almost lost it. Tommy Houston did. As they started off of turn 4, Wallace was trying to get by McLaughlin, and he got sideways. Houston trying to get Dodge. Both of them got sideways. Nothing. Yeah, now the caution's out.
Well, Houston got the car righted and then got it fired, and they thought about not throwing the caution, but then they figured maybe his car would not be up to speed. So we are under caution for the 5th time tonight at Indianapolis Raceway Park. It was spin by Tommy Houston. So under caution, we'll take a quick break and come back and see if any more of the cars up front will come back in for another pit stop. Back with more in a moment.
NASCAR drivers say there's no track in the world that's tougher on brakes than the one in Martinsville, Virginia. So when they take the green flag here, they all have one thing in common, the same brand of brakes. Because without them, you can't come down this straightaway at 120 miles an hour and still make it through the turn. So which brand do NASCAR drivers use to get them through 500 laps at Martinsville? Performance Friction Carbon Metallic. And we stock them at AutoZone.
Hey, what can you do with your computer?
We watch our investments and send email to my sister in college.
And play a few games?
I use my personal computer to do just about everything I want to do.
But how do you do it all?
Computer Life.
Computer Life.
Computer Life, the really cool magazine that's all about you, your computer, and how you can get more out of both. Call the number on your screen now to get Computer Life for 52% off the price you'd pay at the newsstand. And you'll also get a bonus CD-ROM free with this exclusive TV offer. Then experience all the productive, fun, and exciting things you can do on your own computer. Call now for Computer Life. Use it. Enjoy it. When you join us as a subscriber, you'll get a full year, 12 exciting issues for just $16.97, 52% off the cover price. You'll also get the Super Pack CD-ROM, plus a demo from Alpha Software and more, free with your paid subscription. Call now to get Computer Life and get your free CD-ROM.
1-800-618-6565.
Tomorrow, live from Tokyo, it's preseason NFL. Super Bowl champions, the San Francisco 49ers, take on the Denver Broncos. The American Bowl, tomorrow at 10, only on ESPN.
Back at Indianapolis Raceway Park in Claremont, Indiana. It was spent by Tommy Houston. Chad Little coming back down pit road. Let's check in once again at his pitch with John Kernan. John, what's going on?
Well, I tried to get a word with Gary Cogswell, his crew chief, to find out exactly what the problem is. They have changed right side tires, and now they're putting the jack under the rear to bring it up. And Gary has been so busy talking to his crew, haven't been able to figure out exactly what the problem is. But now they're changing that left rear tire.
They're going to have to hurry.
They got a right side on the left side is one of their problems. They had a tire wrong, guys, is what I'm being told. They had to switch those around, and here comes the pace car, and Chad Little is down in a way. A little bit of a mix-up here in the pits, but hey, who can blame them with everything that's been going on with them tonight? First, they thought they had that problem with the rev limiter, and then the alternator is not really up to snuff, so it's not charging the battery, although they have not gone to that second battery yet. They have not put it in, so these guys are having some problems.
And Chad Little remains on the lead lap. There are 17 cars on the lead lap. Let's show you some of the replays. Here, David Green gets a little bit of tap a moment ago. Looks like...
well, that was when they slowed down for Tommy Houston, who had spun down to the inside of the racetrack.
A little different look from a high camera here at the start-finish line. There's Houston's car coming to rest on the inside.
And what had happened to cause Tommy to spin is Mike Wallace was trying to pass Mike McLaughlin coming off of turn 4. Wallace got completely sideways. Houston was trying to pass Wallace down on the inside, had to hit his brakes, and when he did, he spun around.
Let's go down to Bill, standing by with Scott Houston.
Scott, another great run for your dad. He got a little traffic out there. He's running with Mike and a couple other guys.
The car's still real good. We don't think Mike Wallace has a spotter or maybe some sort of problem, but nevertheless, we're still good, so we'll try to win it.
You're doing okay on tires?
Doing pretty good, yeah. Yeah, he's on.
Okay, they were looking to try and get another set in case he had flat spotted those, so they opted to leave him out on the racetrack. 1 to go.
Well, that spin cost Tommy Houston about 7 spots on the racetrack. Could have cost him a lot more had the caution not come out, because even though he was trying to get the speed, he could have possibly lost a lap. He is now being shown in the 14th spot. He was in 7th position when he got involved in that shown a moment ago and spun up at turn 4. They are waving the caution flag once again to hold off the restart, so we'll take another quick break and come back with live green flag racing action from IRP in just a moment.
Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines to Haviland Formula 3 motor oil and Texaco antifreeze coolant, there's no better place to take your car than to the stars.
Take it to the stars.
It's Racing Roundup. Welcome Phil Parsons, driver of the number 99 Luxair Chevrolet. Phil, ready for the big race?
Don't think I'm going.
What?
You know how to get in that car.
Oh, sure, Phil, but you're,
comfortable right here at home with high-performance Luxair Central Air.
But what about your fans?
Fans? You don't need fans in a house with Luxair Central Air.
Thank you, Phil Parsons.
Folks, look in the yellow pages for your Luxair dealer or call 1-800-LUXAIR.
We designed the new Chevrolet Monte Carlo to be your own personal space, so what you want in is in. like an ergonomically designed driver's seat and all analog gauges. And what you want out is out, like noise. So even with its dual overhead cam 24-valve V6 pulling to the red line, Monte Carlo Z34 is a very quiet place. In fact, we recorded this commercial inside a Monte Carlo at 55 miles per hour. Introducing the new Monte Carlo. It's genuine Chevrolet.
Back at Indianapolis Raceway Park under caution once again here. The caution flag continuing due to a spin by Tommy Houston up out of turn 4. Our leader, car number 74, Johnny Benson, looking to pick up win number 3 here in 1995. Busch Series competition. Also would like to be able to pick up the points lead. He just trailed Chad Little by a scant 14 points coming into this event, and Little being shown back in 18th position. So if they would hold that differential, it looks like that Benson would take over the point lead.
Very definitely would, Jerry. Okay, we're ready to go green flag racing. Benson brings him off the turn 4 and the green flag race.
By the way, they called off the green flag a moment ago. They found a screwdriver laying on the racetrack over in turn 2. So that's why they called off the green.
Randy LaJoie is going to get back in front of Johnny Benson, so he's on the tail end of the lead lap. Now he would like to see a caution so that he can come all the way around and get back in the thick of this thing.
Riding along with Jason Keller, he is in 3rd position, and both he and Sawyer have pulled right to the rear deck of Johnny Benson.
Maybe the situation with Randy LaJoie might have got Benson off his rhythm just a little bit. Of course, he hasn't run much on this set of tires. This set of tires might not be as good. So who knows what the situation is. But right now, he isn't getting the pressure from Elton Sawyer. I think right now, Sawyer's a little bit faster than he is Johnny Benson. Jason Keller has been there all night.
Remember, when Sawyer had 2 tires when they started the race, he was the quicker of the 2 cars. He was the pole sitter. It took Benson 51 laps to get by. And now with fresh rubber after that pit stop, it looks like Sawyer may have some quickness. They have something for Benson. And Benson holds him off once again and in turn 1.
Talking about quickness, Randy LaJoie has driven away from him. So he is fast. Got his lap back and is driving away. They're the 3 leaders.
And you see way up in front of the left side of your screen, there is LaJoie. He is now on the lead lap of the Dennis Shoemaker car. That's the Duraloop machine. As Benson is leading, let's check in the pit with John Kernan.
Well, Jerry, Elton Sawyer's car had gotten loose, so on that last pit stop, they came in, they made an air pressure adjustment, also put in 2 rounds of bite to the car to try and tighten it up, and it looks like they might have fixed it, but can he get around Johnny Benson? That remains to be seen.
Benson and Sawyer, red carpet leash machine for Elton Sawyer.
Boy, here's a big battle going on. David Green down on the inside. That's Stevie Reeves in the car number 7. Here's Kevin LePage up on the outside. David Green trying to make that inside group work as his brother Jeff in the black car there tries to come along too.
That is for 11th position. Car number 71 was being shown in 11th spot as Kevin LePage. Jeff Green is 12th. David Green, 13th. As you look up at that battle, that is riding along with Dennis Setzer. That battle right in front of him. That's Tommy Houston right in front of Setzer. They are being shown in 15th and 16th position.
There's LePage down on the inside of Reeves. He makes the pass. Jeff Green goes with him. Here is Jim Fedor in the car number 55. As Kevin Ray comes down pit road.
Remember, coming up after the race, Sports Center, all the action, strong returns, NFL preseason highlights, and NBA labor woe. That's coming up at the conclusion of our NASCAR Kroger 200. All the action on Sports Center coming your way. Of Stevie Reeves is being shown a lap down in 22nd position. We have 19 cars on the lead lap. Watching the car number 71 in a battle for 11th and 12th position. The 71 is your 11th place car. Behind him, Jeff Green. Goodrich Chevrolet is in 12th. That's Herbie Sadler in the car number 1. He's in 10th spot as you move around. Car number 25 coming at you. Johnny Rumley being shown in 5th position. Good run for Rumley, the Don Beverly car, the Big Johnson machine. Mike McLaughlin right behind him.
And you mentioned Herbie Sadler. No, that's Chad Little coming in. Chad Little coming into the pits.
And he is coming very, very slowly down pit road. John, what's the problem?
Jerry, the last few times by Chad Little's car, it sounded like he's not running on only 7 cylinders. It sounds like it's running on 8, but he is just not anywhere near up to speed. The RPM sound way off. They're going to work on the left rear. So apparently Chad couldn't drive the car. He wasn't. Well, no, actually what they're going to do now, they're going down left rear to change the battery. So the battery just about dead. Now, so on the Winston Cup circuit, a lot of times we see it's a quick change. They've got a section on the passenger side, if you will, of the car where they can stick a new battery in and just plug it in, but not right here. So they are going to have to pull the old battery out behind the driver's compartment, put the new battery in, and they are going to lose a lot of time. But the car was just about ready to quit running.
Well, tough break for our series point leader sitting on pit road while the guy he's battling for the championship leads it here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. We are past the halfway point. Just 70 laps remain for the NASCAR Kroger 200. Back in a moment.
If you settle for a remanufactured engine without a brand name...
Raceway Park, laps are winding down. Johnny Benson now moving back in, trying to put that Duraloop car, Brendan LaJoy, a lap down. Benson about 4 car lengths in front of the second place car. There's a battle back on the racetrack. Elton Sawyer in the 08 of Bobby Donner.
Now they are battling for the 3rd position. Jason Keller has moved up into the 2nd position now. Keller is gaining, once he got around, Elton Sawyer is gaining on Johnny Benson.
And here's a wild scramble. Take a look at what Dennis Setzer's looking at here. In the car number 42, the Band-Aid machine. Pontiac, that's Tommy Houston. Back bumper right in front of him, the Meyer Red Devil on Amble's Ford. And Houston is looking at the back of Jeff Fuller.
And he's been up beside him, and Jerry, he's tried everything in the world the last 5 or 6 laps to move around Jeff Fuller, but just simply has not been able to do it. Of course, Fuller right there on Kevin LePage in the car number 71.
That's 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th. That's 71, 47, 6, and 42. As we go by the car number 88 of Marty Ward.
Now, these guys are almost a half a lap behind Johnny Benson. He's sitting out there with not much traffic setting sail.
There's LePage, Fuller, Houston. Go down to the pits and check in with John Kernan.
Jerry, Chad Little is still sitting here. They've just got the old battery out, and with the help of Nelson Crusher, my able assistant who also works with Jerry, we've got the scope meter here. You can see the battery's reading right around 11 volts DC. It should be at least right around 12.5 volts. So that's the problem. Kevin LePage, I'm told, out on the track, a little bit of a problem, but just 1.5 volts, and he was dropping, probably a little over 1,000 RPMs out there, Jerry.
Well, thanks, John. We understand now what Chad Little's problem was. Here's the problem LePage had a moment ago.
Yeah, he got sideways. Look, he almost lost it, and the train went by on the inside. He was right in front of that group, you remember, when we were watching them a little bit ago. And looked like he might have got just a little bit of a tap there and got across face. 4 or 5 cars went by, but he's still going.
He might have had a little help there, indeed, up high on the racetrack, but indeed he will lose about 3 or 4 spots. Johnny Benson, our leader. Jason Keller in second. And here is the 3rd and fourth place cars. There is Benson, our leader, car number 74, Keller, the 57 car. The 08 car has made the move into third position. Good run for Bobby Donner.
And he's beginning to pull away from Elton Sawyer. Elton's car looks like it's not handling too well in the turn. Johnny Rumley all over him right now, as Elton has dropped back to the fourth position.
Now, Bobby Donner had qualified fifth, but apparently this morning had a problem with the engine. His engine builder told him that engine he had in the car would last 20 laps at most. He didn't know what to do. So he had to go borrow an engine from Dennis Shoemaker. They borrowed a Jack 10 motor that's maybe one of the strongest motors I've had all year. I've got a chance to win this thing. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
Well, I'm down here in the pits of Bobby Donner, and these guys are cheering and hopping around. They're having a great time. That high tool car is really coming to the front. He's in the third. The big story here is Bobby Donner wasn't even in that car last week. They're trying to iron out the ownership change that Jerry and Dennis talked about. Jerry mentioned high tools is happy with their driver, and after that gets worked out, they'll probably be happy with their owner, and if he keeps coming to the front, they might be happy with the race winner, but Bobby Donner on the move in the third in the high tools.
Boy, what a great run for Bobby Donner. Young man trying to improve on his best finish of the year. Fifth place twice this year at Hickory and Myrtle Beach. Green flag racing at Indianapolis Raceway Park as laps are winding down. Just about 54 remain here. Back with more in a moment. Back at Indianapolis Raceway Park, and you might tell that we are under caution for the sixth time today. And the caution, the reason for the caution, our leader, Johnny Benson, apparently having a problem over in turn 2, and not sure whether he may have cut a tire or just sort of lost it. Let's take a look.
Well, there he is, and all of a sudden the back end just goes around on the Lipton T Chevrolet, Jerry. Does a 360, keeps it going. Look at the cars going by. Here it is again. As it goes into the turn, the back end just gets out from under him. He clips the wall just a little bit. Don't think he did much damage there. Great job of driving by Johnny Benson.
You hate to speculate, but you almost wonder if he didn't hit something on the racetrack.
Yeah.
Maybe a car in front of him may have put something down. Let's look once again from Jason Keller.
Yeah, it looks like his right rear tire just might have hit a spot of oil or something, because it just went out from under it.
He did a whale of a job to keep that car out of the wall. Let's check in on the pits with John Kernan.
I just talked to Johnny's crew chief, Steve Burton. Steve says that Johnny radioed back in and says he must have hit some oil because the car just went around, as you can see out there on the tape. I asked Steve if he might have flat spotted the tires, but Steve said no. Johnny says the car and the tires are okay.
Well, the NASCAR rule is that they allow you 2 sets of tires here under caution. Let's check in the Bob Donner pit. Let's see if Bobby Donner pit, see if his dad is with Bill Weber.
Well, I'm here down here with their crew chief, actually. That's Lloyd Henny. What's Bobby telling you, Lloyd?
Oh, the car's working real good. The high tool, Chevrolet, Loop Tech, everything's working real good right now. We only put right side tires on when we pulled in for a pit stop, but it's hanging in there real good right now. We got a good race car.
How's your week been? A little, obviously, you're trying to get some of your ownership problems ironed out. Has your driver been able to focus on the wheel aspect of the sport?
Well, things are, working ahead right now. We're still got some things to do yet. It's not done yet, but hopefully we'll get things cleared up here in the next week or so.
Okay. Looking for Bobby Donner to come to the front here in the last 50 laps or so of this race back upstairs.
Now, Bobby Donner was in partnerships with the guys named Ron and Lee Smith at MPH Racing Equipment. And Bobby was going to leave that team and go drive for Dennis Shoemaker because they were going to buy him out. And now Bobby decided he's going to buy them out. They're trying to get the paperwork worked out. Make a long story short, hopefully middle of next week, Bobby Donner will own that team, and the high tools people will be back with them next year. He'll have his own operation with total control. That's exactly what Bobby wanted. And apparently it's working, because tonight that car is like a rocket.
He's running very, very strong, no doubt about it. Here's Kevin Ray. Looks like his car has stalled on him down in turn 1.
And Fedor may have gotten in some of that oil over there, as his car also possibly slipping and sliding. Let's see if we can take a look. Top part of your screen, see him sliding.
Yeah, spins all the way around.
Loops it around.
Evidently there was something on the track there.
Great camera work, guys. We picked up that oil and those spins in turns 1 and 2. Under caution for the 6th time. Back with more from IRP in a moment. Raceway Park. We are less than 50 laps away from the conclusion, as you just saw. Sports Center will be coming up next. Mike Tirico and Craig Kilburn, all the action and all the sports around the country. Strawberry returns, preseason highlights from the NFL, and of course the labor woes. It's all coming up at the conclusion of our Speedball coverage of the Busch Grand National Kroger 200. There's Jason Keller's Budget Gourmet Chevrolet. If there's a sentimental favorite up front, it's got to be this young man. 2 full years on the tour, and he's yet to go to victory lane. He has been very, very close. And boy, wouldn't it be an emotional win tonight for that young man?
It certainly would. He's been looking forward to that first win. And Jerry, we're about to get the green flag when they come around the next time. Let's update the situation. Chris Diamond, who hit the light pole over there a little bit earlier, we have a report from NASCAR that Chris was okay, so we're happy to report that. And Chad Little, for you Chad Little fans, he lost about 18 laps when they were changing that battery, so he is being shown now in 28th position.
There's Chad Little back. And here is Jason Keller sitting in that Chevrolet.
Now the second, third, and fourth position got jumped up a little bit when Vincent spun. Of course, Keller went right on by him immediately, but Jason Elton Sawyer got by the Bob Dotter car during that spin.
We'll get ready for green flag racing. We're checking with Bill Weber. And green flag waves, lap 157. Jason Keller leads him in turn 1, slips up a little bit as they are door-to-door and scrambling out of turn 2. There is Keller. There is the lap car of Chad Little. As you said that, he is down some 18 laps after that repair work in the pits. Battery change.
Still has a fast race car. Now that he's got that juice back to it. Jason will do well just to let him go and not fool with him.
Not use up his tires or wear out his race car, holding the car back this 18 laps down. Hopefully, you would think maybe a spotter or someone would tell Jason that that car is indeed laps in arrears.
A number of cars did make some pit stops that are on the lead lap during that caution period. Some of them have some fresh tires on. Tommy Houston took on a couple of fresh tires, so did Dennis Setzer.
Tracy Leslie came in and took 4 tires on during that caution flag.
We'll see how they do as we make that run here for the last 40 couple laps.
There's Jeff Green and Tommy Houston battling side by side. Houston makes the move on the inside. There's Dennis Setzer right behind him.
Both of those drivers have pressure tires, right side tires, so they're moving up into 11th position now. Houston did. Dennis Setzer will move up to 12th. And there's Randall LaJoy. That caution was a big benefit to him. He was still in front of the leader, so he did get back in the lead lap.
So he unlapped himself from Johnny Benson, held Benson off until the caution came out, and now showing himself in 14th position. What a job by Randall LaJoy for that Dennis Shoemaker Duraloop car.
And certainly it's proven that he has a fast race car because he was able to stay out in front of Johnny Benson and then held Jason Keller off, coming back to get the yellow flag. Tim Beadle will make him move on Ward Burton. Burton driving the Caterpillar car number 95. And David Green into the pits in the GM Chevrolet. Certainly an unscheduled pit stop for him. He was one of 19 drivers being shown on the lead lap.
There's Mike Wallace in the car number 90. He is being shown in 6th position. Behind him, Doug Hebron in 7th spot. And right in front, the 4th and 5th place cars, Johnny Rumley. Great ride by the Rumley in the Vic Johnson car number 25. And here is David Green, as you mentioned a moment ago, coming down pit road very, very slowly. It looks like David's going to have...
Here is trouble, Jerry, on the front straightaway. Big wreck. Mike Wallace is involved. Johnny Rumley is involved. Bobby Dotter is involved. Johnny Benson involved. Jeff Buller is involved. A little further up the track, and Jeff Green.
Boy, at least half a dozen cars heavily damaged, and there is Doug Hebron. What a tremendous impact for the Milacron car of Hebron. Here's the high tool cars of Bobby Dotter.
Everybody has moved away from the scene of the accident.
It's amazing some of those cars can even roll, much less still run after the impact here. And here's Mike Wallace's car coming out of turn 4. It is shooting sparks around. There is the Milacron car, Doug Hebron. These were all cars that were in the top 6 or 7.
Yes, they were. battling for position, and somebody got into somebody, I guess. And anyway, it started a big melee.
Let's go down to John Kernan.
I'll just walk over to Doug Hebron's pit. Man, the front nose is gone. You can see steam coming from where the radiator is. Apparently the radiator might be broken. These guys, oh man, the left front fender is ripped back, peeled back. So is the right front fender. It is peeled back. Let me get out of the way here. They come around to change the left side tires. I'm telling you, I don't know how long this car will stay out there. It looks like they've got quite a leak with the radiator, just a bunch of fluid underneath. And Mike Wallace having to back up into his pits as he missed his pits. He must have a brake problem as Doug Hebron has shut the engine down. Back upstairs, guys.
There's Mike Wallace, and you see that there is the Bobby Dotter car, what's left of the back of the Mactos. Look again at what just happened a moment ago.
Okay, as they come off of turn 4, it looks like Dotter gets into the Johnny Rumley car, and there comes Mike Wallace into it. And down on the inside was the car number 35 of Hebron. And then there were some others that spun further up the racetrack. Jeff Green was one of those.
Looks like Rumley gets tag teamed by Hebron and Dotter. There's the car 95, Ward Burton spinning. Jeff Fuller trying to get stopped, just taps Burton. The 3 car, that is, of course, Jeff Green. As Bobby Dotter heads back to pits, we are under caution for the 7th time tonight at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Excitement all over this racetrack, and we still have 35 laps to go. Back in a moment. It's being brought to you by Chevrolet. One car company has won more races in the history of NASCAR. Genuine Chevrolet. By AC Delco Automotive Parts. AC Delco, it's like buying time. And by Texaco Havoline Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. Take it to the stars. Under caution at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Let's go to the pits and John Kernan.
And I'm standing by with Johnny Rumley, who's got a lot of damage. The radiator is broken on that car as well. And Johnny, just a big mess up here. What happened?
Yeah, well, like I said earlier, I guess the guy ran out of brakes coming off 4, and if you use brakes here coming off 4, I don't think you do, but anyway, we tore up the car, and Big Johnson, Onita, and them guys, they stuck by us, you know, and we had a decent run going. We wanted to turn the team around, and I think we proved we can run up with these guys, and we get everything right. We'll stay there. And I'd like to say hi to my kids, Carolyn, and everybody at home. We're okay. We'll be back in Michigan, and hopefully we'll do a little bit better.
Johnny Rumley had a top 5 run going for today, but now he's behind the wall after that big crash.
Boy, what a run he had going, and they've got to be awfully proud of what he has done. He got in a car a couple of years ago on one race deal and won at Hickory Speedway, and then Don Beverly puts him in this car. He quietly makes his way toward the front. Once again, recapping the cars involved, there is the Rumley car sitting on pit road. Car number 25, the 08 was involved, Bobby Dotter, the 90 of Mike Wallace, 35 of Doug Hebron, 47 of Jeff Fuller, 95 Ward Burton, Jeff Green's car number 3, and of course Johnny Benson, the 74 car. Those are the cars primarily involved, 7 in number in the 7th caution flag here of the evening. Chad Little's car number 23 still sitting in the pits. He's been in and lost some 18 laps for a battery change, and there's the yellow flag being shown by Carl Simmons. And while we're under caution, as you watch Tommy Houston's now being shown in 7th spot, and behind him Dennis Setzer. Remember, those guys made a pit stop just a few laps ago and changed tires, so they're set for possibly a run to the checkered flag. We'll see that run when we come back. We're being shown as our leader with 31 laps remaining. We're under caution. One of the drivers involved in that incident is standing by with our Bill Weber.
And that man is Mike Wallace. You told us before the race you had a good car. You did have a good car, just not a good finish. What happened, Mike?
Well, it's just one of those ways it happens. You know, 2 cars got turned sideways up off of 4. And I seen the 1 car go to the bottom. I thought it was a move to the top. And when I got there, Johnny Rumley was turned sideways and just couldn't get slowed down. You know, it's a shame. The Duron Paints, Heilig-Myers, Klausner car was running pretty good. It took us a few laps after a restart to get going. You know, the car was a little slidey, and we were just kind of biding our time. I don't know if we had enough for Jason. He seemed pretty good out there, but we definitely had a top 3 car today. It just wasn't meant to be for some reason.
Jason Keller, the man to beat from your seat?
Well, right now he is. I mean, he's leading. You know, track position's really important. We thought we should have pitted on that last caution, but track position was so important we stayed out. Still think it was the right move. It just didn't pay off, you know. And, you know, hopefully Jason might win his first one here. It's sure fun to win a first one, but there's about 40 laps to go, 30 laps, and they're going to have a heck of a big wreck probably before the end of it.
Mike Wallace out tonight. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Green flag about to come out upstairs.
Boy, what a prediction. A heck of a big wreck. Well, it's not really going out on much of a limb after what we've seen tonight. Already 7 caution flags.
Big wreck we just came off of. Okay, green flag waves, and Jason Keller leads them down.
Keller the leader, Sawyer in second, and McLaughlin was being shown, as you saw a moment ago, in 3rd spot.
Hermie Sadler is 4th, and Tommy Houston in 5th. Tracy Leslie now moves up into 6th, as Dennis Setzer gets pinned in. He's in 7th.
There the lead 2 cars. Keller out front of the Chevrolet, behind him the Ford Thunderbird and Sawyer. Showing 14 cars on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap in 14th spot would be the Jeff Fuller machine. Tommy Houston, as seen from the roof cam of Dennis Setzer and a Pontiac. Now looking to the inside, and that's the lap car of Stevie Reeves, the Clabber Girl machine in front of him. Reeves, and that car is being shown 1 lap down in 15th spot.
And the guy really on the move right up in front of the red car up there is Tracy Leslie. He has passed 3-4 cars since this green flag came out, doing it down on the inside, now trying to move around the 34 car of Mike McLaughlin, who is running in 3rd place.
Now remember, Leslie is one of the cars that came in and pitted. He took on 4 fresh tires about 15 laps ago, whereas Setzer and Houston took on...
Oh, trouble here coming off of turn 4 as Bobby Donner was trying... No, it was Dennis Setzer trying to get on the blue car, trying to get on the inside of Hermie Sadler. They made contact. Well, that's the way it appeared to me. And there is Setzer in the Band-Aid car, shower-to-shower car.
Caution being shown to the field as they come by, and Setzer will go a lap down. Leaders move by. 8th caution flag of the day involving the car of Dennis Setzer. Now that is the roof cam of Setzer. And remember, Sports Center coming up next. Pretty good action we're seeing here, but they've got some great action coming up on Sports Center with Craig Kilborn and Mike Tirico. Take a look again at what caused the incident with Dennis Setzer.
Okay, they're coming off of turn 4. And you can see the blue car there. It looks like Setzer gets into the car number 1 of Hermie Sadler just a little bit, and it causes Setzer to spin around. He makes a complete 360, gets up next to the outside wall, and then shoots down across the track, fortunately, in that traffic, and didn't hit anything. There you see, he just clipped the 1 car of Hermie Sadler, and around he goes.
And they were battling for 7th and 8th position. A little bit different angle. You see they just barely tap each other, but that's all it takes here late in the race.
And Tim Fiedel got in the wall there, too. You can see the yellow car with the green on it.
Boy, some near misses there. They try to get around on the inside of Setzer, and that car comes to rest down. They have now raised the hood. Obviously in need of some of its sponsor services. A little bit of Band-Aid adhesive for that car that tagged the wall and spun around. And obviously the car will not fire, so Setzer out of the car. And they will back up the wrecker and pick it up and pull it in. 178 of 200 laps complete. Keller, Sawyer, McLaughlin, Leslie, and Houston in the top 5 with 22 laps remaining. Back in a moment.
Indianapolis Raceway Park, one lap away from going green and involved in that last incident to bring out this yellow. Dennis Setzer. Dennis, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just fine. I just hate it for the guys in the Band-Aid Pontiac. They put a good car under us. One of those things, just tight racing here at IRP. I'd like to really thank Band-Aid.
All right, I guess short, sweet, to the point, huh, Dennis?
I couldn't hear that.
I said short and sweet to the point, huh?
Yeah, really so. The Fred Turner and all these guys, they put together a great race car. And, just kind of heavy traffic. That's standard deal on these short tracks. Sometimes you get by, sometimes you don't.
That's Dennis Setzer. He got out of the car, walked over here on his own, so he is definitely okay, Jerry.
And we're getting ready to go green. 20 laps to go. Any predictions, Ned?
I think Jason Keller's going to be awfully hard to beat. He's had a strong car all night long. He's driven a very smart race up to this point. And if nothing happens, I believe he's the man to beat. And Mike Wallace says he's out front, so that makes a big difference, too.
Well, they waved the flag.
Just trying to beat Joe Bessie into that corner, and he did, down on the inside. That's what he wanted to do, so he could set his own groove, not have to run a groove that he don't necessarily want to run in.
Joe Bessie being shown a lap down in 14th position. Pretty good run for Bessie. He's been away from Busch Series competition for a number of events, getting his own car back out with Delta Arabia America sponsorship. He'd like to be able to get himself back in the lead lap.
Elton Sawyer running in second place, the lap car between them. Third is Mike McLaughlin. And in fourth place is Tracy Leslie, and he's working on McLaughlin, trying to take that position away. There they are. The fourth place cars, the blue and yellow cars, McLaughlin, car number 34. Leslie in fourth position, and Tommy Houston right there in fifth position.
Great battle, third, fourth, and fifth. McLaughlin, Leslie, and Houston. And of that threesome, the 72 car has changed 4 tires. Houston has changed 2. Not sure McLaughlin has been in and past the 120 lap mark, so his tires may be the most worn of the 3.
I think you're right, Jerry. Houston now trying to make a pass down on the inside of Leslie, but that didn't work. Hard to pass going into the corner unless you're already up beside of somebody. Now there goes Leslie down on the inside, trying to refute just what I said, but it didn't work that time either.
Even with the pressure tires, the car will not stick. This is the best battle on the racetrack. There is our leader.
And Jason Keller has himself a pretty good cushion over second place Elton Sawyer, but no cushion right here for third, fourth, and fifth. Mike McLaughlin got his first win in the series back earlier this year in Dover, Delaware. And here's the battle between Hermie Sadler, car number 1, Ward Burton, car number 95, Jeff Green in number 3.
And our 11th place car, Johnny Benson, on pit road for an unscheduled stop. As you look at this battle here, that is 6th, or shall I say 7th, 8th, and 9th. 13 laps to go.
Patty Luis also in the pits. We haven't mentioned much about Patty tonight, but and Benson is back out there. Boy, he had an opportunity to really pick up some points on Chad Little here tonight. He's going to pick up some, but not nearly as many as he could have.
Benson apparently had a tire going down, came in and made a tire change. Leslie now moving around the outside of the lap car of Joe Bessie. Sawyer in second spot, McLaughlin in third. Fourth is Tracy Leslie. Fifth, Tommy Houston. Sixth, Hermie Sadler. Seventh, the Caterpillar car, Ward Burton, car number 95. And eighth spot being shown the car number 3 of Jeff Green.
And in the 9th position, right behind Green, is Bobby Dollar with that banged-up car. He was involved in the wreck, but he's still running strong.
Pulling away somewhat now from Elton Sawyer. Ned, you made the call at the beginning of the race, and Keller was biding his time early on and being very, very smart with his tires. As you watch another driver use up a few tires, and that's Tracy Leslie as he tries to make a move inside of Mike McLaughlin.
Tracy had to pass a lot of cars after he put those 4 tires on, and he wore the new off of them pretty quick. He can do that down on the inside, and now he doesn't have the advantage that he once had. Houston now working on Tracy Leslie, trying to get out on the inside. Of course, that's going to ease his tires some too, but he's got to do it. He's getting near the end of the race, so you try to get everything you possibly can.
8 laps to go. No sense to leave anything on the table. This is the battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Second place car right in front of this battle.
Yeah, they've caught Elton Sawyer. Elton had pulled away from him, but now they are catching up to him. So we see 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th in the screen there. Jason Keller just driven on away, trying to get his first victory in NASCAR Busch competition.
Six laps remaining for Jason Keller in the Budget Gourmet Chevrolet. Trying to become the 12th different winner in 14 races here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. It'll be 5 to go this time by for the native of Greenville, South Carolina.
Johnny Benson lost a lap on that unscheduled pit stop. He's being shown in the 13th position, where Chad Little is being shown, in 28th position. So quite a difference there. Johnny Benson should take over the point lead if they stay where they are.
Watching the battle, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and now Leslie tries it once again down in turn 2. Can't quite make it work, and McLaughlin pulls away. Former NASCAR Modified Series champion, McLaughlin finished 3rd here a year ago. Exactly where he's running here tonight. 3 laps to go, and they are pulling in on Elton Sawyer. Here is Leslie trying to make a move. Now he can't make it work. Can Houston pull it off? That's the differential. You saw the 57 car go by.
Yeah, he's comfortable out front there. He's coming up on some heavy traffic. However, that 4 cars that he's coming up on, that's Jason Keller. You can see him just right up ahead of this battle for the 2nd position. And McLaughlin really working on Elton Sawyer now. And here's another battle back in the pack.
And white flag waves for Jason Keller. As you're watching battles all around the racetrack, it is Keller the leader in the final lap at Indianapolis Raceway Park. There he is, the Budget Gourmet Chevrolet. His 63rd career Busch Series start, and Jason Keller is less than half a mile from victory. He will take the checkered flag. And Jason Keller gets his first win. You think that young man is happy to prove, celebrating on pit road. 25-year-old Greenville, South Carolina driver gets win number 1 in Busch Grand National Series racing at Indianapolis Raceway Park in the NASCAR Kroger 200. Once again, for Bill Weber and John Kernan and Ned Jarrett, I'm Jerry Punch, congratulating that young man right there. How about that? His first win ever in Busch Series competition at IRP, the NASCAR Kroger 200. Once again, congratulations to Jason Keller, and so long, everyone, from Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Debate on the next Reflections, Saturday at 7.
The following is a special presentation of ABC Sports. Racing. It's as old as the automobile itself. In 1911, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway became the premier track with its 500-mile race. In the 30s, another form of motorsports began to grow on Daytona Beach. Stock cars. NASCAR was formed in the 40s. Last year, the two joined, and the results were spectacular. The Brickyard 400. The 400 answered every promise. 43 cars, the most ever to start at Indianapolis. They thundered before the largest crowd by far for a NASCAR event. They battled for NASCAR's largest purse, $3.2 million. It was a storybook finish, with a youngster who grew up near the Speedway, Jeff Gordon, taking the win, the beginning of a climb to stardom.
Having that confidence from that win did so much for my career and for my confidence in myself.
Big names like Earnhardt, 7-time Winston Cup champion, and his black number 3 are among the drivers he'll face. Gordon arrives at Indy as the points leader, but these two have battled all year. Or Rusty Wallace, who despite this horrifying accident at Daytona in 1993, has added 21 more wins to his record and is always in the points fight. Dale Jarrett's 28 Ford won at Pocono. Many believe that Indy and Pocono are similar racetracks, and he has an excellent chance to win here today. Sterling Marlin has won the last 2 Daytona 500s, and again 2 weeks ago at Talladega. He's second in the points and has proven abilities on the super speedways. Bill Elliott is the most popular driver in NASCAR. His greatest season was 10 years ago when he won over $2 million. But at Pocono this year, he had the pole, and he loves flat tracks like the Speedway. Today, these stands will fill again. NASCAR is back at the Brickyard. It's a celebration of competition. NASCAR means side-by-side racing. NASCAR means speed over 190 miles an hour. NASCAR means danger. NASCAR means drivers as colorful as the cars they drive. Today, the tradition continues. Again, they'll run at the greatest race course in the world, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, with its long history. Today, they add to that history in the second running of the Brickyard 400.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. This is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Well, Erin has made her way to Indianapolis. We are here for coverage of the Brickyard 400, the second annual. But well, Mother Nature has a different point of view. It is raining now. It has been raining most of the morning, and the forecast here calls for a 90% chance of rain in Indianapolis throughout the day. But nevertheless, don't touch that remote. We've got plenty of good stuff coming up for you. Hi, I'm Paul Page, and welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway with that traditional command. It's raining once again, but the fans are here. And this is going to give us that unique opportunity to talk with many of the participants in the Brickyard 400, take a look back at last year's race. And we have so very much coming up for you this afternoon, including probably the most exciting finish I have ever seen in any automobile race in the International Race of Champions, round number 3. So stay with us. It's going to be a great afternoon here of motorsports on ABC Sports. And now, let's go down to Jerry Punch and see what NASCAR is thinking about the race and what the weather holds in store. Jerry?
Well, thank you, Paul. I'm outside the NASCAR trailer here where some of the very difficult decisions have to be made each week in NASCAR Winston Cup competition. And joining me is NASCAR's Vice President for Competition, Mike Hilton. And, Mike, it looks like it's beginning to break a little bit. What are your thoughts?
Well, as you said, we've been following it all morning to try to see what was the weather was going to react or how it was going to react. And right now there's a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel. We don't know what the next half hour will do to change that, though, but at least it's a ray of hope right now.
How late could you wait to start this race, this 400-mile race here at Indianapolis?
We could start it as late as about 3:30 to get the entire show in.
Now, that's 3:30 Central Time, which would be, of course, 4:30 Eastern Time. And your idea there is that you want to be able to run the entire 160 laps if you drop the green.
That's correct. We'd only started if we felt that we could get the entire race in, had enough time to get the entire show in. Now, if the weather changed once we got it started, it's a different matter. But our starting decision is based on being able to get the entire show in.
Worst case scenario, the rains come back in. When will the race be run?
We'd be looking at it in the morning at 11 o'clock Central Time, or Eastern Standard Time, I guess it is here in Indiana.
So 11 o'clock tomorrow if the rains prevail. But let me show you what's going on as Mike Hilton will let him go back because he's getting ready to